begins. KT Giga Internet, ASL Season 4.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Day 3 of the ASL. We're jumping right into this. So let's see how our players are doing. We'll get this interview translated for you.
어떤 생각을 갖고 있을지 제가 한번 이야기 나눠보겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
So we're in Group C. Hello, everybody. Hellos are exchanged.
아주 이 화목한 분위기 아주 좋은데요. 먼저 김정우 선수에게
Nobody's gonna say hello back right away. That's when they all started talking.
김정우 선수라는
All right, let's talk to you
많은
first, Effort.
선수들이 정말 최고의 적으로 꼽는 걸로 제가 알고 있어요. 근데 아직까지 ASL에서는
A lot of people are viewing you as the top Zerg right now, Effort.
이렇다 할 성적을 못 보여주고
But
있는데
in recent ASL, you didn't show the results people were expecting. How do you feel about coming here today?
못하고 있어서 오늘도 좀 불안불안한데요. 그냥 연습은 그래도 많이 해왔습니다.
Yeah, lately I haven't played the games but I think exhibit my skill.
잘 해야 될 것 같아요.
네, 상당히 좀 자신감이 더
I think today
필요할
is
것 같은데
going to be my day to show how good I really am.
상대가 김기훈 선수잖아요.
He says you maybe need some more confidence.
어떤 선수인 것 같나요?
You're going up against Lazy. Where would you evaluate his skill at?
탑급에 속한 선수라고 생각하는데
토스 중에 탑급이요.
I think he's a very tough Protoss.
그래가지고 좀 많이 긴장돼요 지금.
네, 지금 김기훈 선수가 고개를 떨구셨어요.
So that makes me really nervous.
김기훈 선수,
I'm not sure if he's being
선수가
authentic.
토스 중에서 탑이라고 말씀을 하셨습니다.
So Everett says you're a
어떻게
top Protoss,
생각하세요?
Lazy. What do you think about his comments?
고맙네요.
I think even if he says
본인도
such
그렇게
comments,
생각하시는 거죠?
아니요.
아, 그건 아니고.
Excuse me, I'm thankful.
오늘 김정우 선수랑
he
이제
says, but I'm not on the same level as
맞붙게
Effort.
됐는데 자신 있으신가요?
So,
솔직히 말해가지고
how confident are you then against Effort?
제가 연습을 많이
Honestly?
못했어요.
네.
많이 할 여건이 안 돼가지고.
I didn't have much time to practice.
그래서 원래 재미로
Just
나오는
within my
데 올라가고
circumstances in
싶더라고요.
life.
네.
올라가고 싶어서 나름 연습을 열심히 해서
I'm just going to come down here and enjoy this tournament
나머지 테란전만 했습니다.
and try to take this too
나머지
seriously.
테란을 잡고 올라가겠다.
예.
김정우 선수는 못 이길 것 같다.
예, 냉정하게 제가 판단했을 때
네.
적어전에 시간을 투자하는 것보다 테란전 하는 게 그나마 확률이 있겠다 싶어가지고 테란전만 좀 했습니다.
근데 저번 시즌도 이제 진주를 하셨고 지금 2회 연속
I think
진주잖아요.
in order to raise my opportunity to advance, I'm focusing more on Terrans in my group.
ASL이
So
끝나고
this is your second
갑자기
consecutive
방송을
ASL.
하셨어요. 방송도 안 하시고
But
예, 방송은 원래 안
after
하기로
ASL
했었고요.
last season,
제가 그때 이미 방송
all of a sudden you turned off everything. You weren't streaming. What's going on?
뭐 예선 올라가고 난 다음에 방송 안 했어요. 제가 배우서 받을 자격이 없는 것 같아가지고
After I made the qualifiers,
배우서 받기도 좀 그렇고 해가지고 방송은 안 했습니다.
아 원래 방송
I feel like getting attention from the fans.
이제 아예 안 합니다.
I feel like I don't deserve to get that attention.
스타가
So I
좋아서
thought
그냥
예, 스타-
I just might as well stop streaming.
꾸준히 하시고
꾸준히는 아닌데
Look, I just love
그냥
StarCraft.
일단 스타크래프트가 좋아서
That's why I
나오게 됐는데
practice.
막상 또 올라오니까
And that's why I play.
그렇죠. 이게
준비할 수 있는 대로 했습니다. 예.
선수분들의 의욕이 장난이 아니죠. 이제 박성근 선수 한번 인터뷰 해볼까요?
So
네,
I want to enjoy this tournament. I'm trying to take it
정말
too
최고의
seriously.
테란 중 한 분인데
And I know Effort's
오늘
bottom line is to get as far as you can in
컨디션?
this.
아까 지금
How's your condition,
기온이
Mike?
탑급 토스의 최고의 테란 약간 연결되는 것 같긴 한데 제가 아무래도 뭐 저번 시즌 이제 또 예선에서 또 처음으로 이제 떨어지다 보니까
You said top
자존감도
Terran, that I'm top Terran,
그래서
also Lazy's
이번에는
top Protoss.
진짜 그냥
But
최소 16강을
after I was eliminated last
가고 싶어요.
season,
그래서 오늘은 꼭 이겼으면 좋겠네요.
네,
I felt a lot of
오늘 이
disappointment.
선수랑 꼭
I felt a lot of
맞붙고 싶다
frustration.
하는 선수가 있다면 누가 있을까요?
I thought I should make it to the next round.
사실 1경기를 이기고
Are there any particular players you want to face coming in here?
기훈이랑 만나고 싶은데
네.
그게 뭐 쉬울 것 같지는 않고
Well, I'd like to face Lazy.
저는 진짜 오늘 근데 좀 뭐 이렇게 맵이나 뭐 이런 딱 대진을 보면서 아무래도 김정우가 너무 지금 세다 보니까
네.
But when I look at my bracket,
어떻게든 그냥 김정우 밑에서라도
And the maps.
이 세 명과의 싸움에서라도 내가
Everett seems
이겨야겠다.
way overpowered.
그래서 그런 생각도 갖고 있어요.
네, 지금 탑급 테란분이 탑급
So besides Effort,
좀 찍으셨어요.
I'm all with these other three guys. It just depends on how we play
네,
today.
마이크
네.
테란전만 연습하셨다고 했는데
네.
네, 이에 또 응답해 주셔야죠.
You said you only practice
제가 봤을 때는
PBT.
성균이 형 3대전 가서 정우 형이랑 갈 것 같고 저는 옆에 분하고 아마 패자전에서 붙지 않을까 그런 생각을 좀 하고 있습니다.
I think Effort and
만날
mine
일이 사실 딱히 없을 것
will
같아요.
face each other in the winners
그거는
match.
모르는 거죠. 네, 게임이 어떻게 풀릴지는
그렇긴 하죠.
And me and Rush will be in the losers most likely.
박성근 선수
That's my prediction.
최근에 해설 BJ로 전향한다는 소문이 있어요.
네.
네.
해설 BJ로요?
네.
아니 뭐 전향은 아니고 그냥 이제 뭐 시청자들이 좀 좋아해 주셔갖고
I heard you're gonna switch to teaching StarCraft. making it more of an educational stream.
네, 아주 많은 분들이
Well, I
재밌어하시는
haven't
걸로
decided to do that
아는데
just
오늘
yet.
그래도
네.
좋은 성적 보여주셔야 되잖아요. 해설도 좋고. 네.
저는 이제 게임
But it seems like a lot of my
BJ니까
viewers like it.
그렇죠.
네, 게임으로 보여드리겠습니다.
네, 이제 유영진 선수 인터뷰 해볼게요.
네.
This is a more of a
우리
game
유영진 선수 하면
streamer,
또
not necessarily
생각나는 게
as much of a
있죠.
programmer.
유영진 선수
More like
반찬이
doing
달랐습니다.
commentary, he
성적에
says.
따라서 네, 이게
네,
몇
그렇죠.
찬이 될지
네.
오늘 반찬 수 어떻게 예상하시나요?
제가 볼 때 오늘 집에 도착하면은
How do you predict tonight's matches to go, Rush?
아, 반드시 이기겠다. 20찬 정도라면은 2승 0패 성적으로 올라가요. 그 정도 나오는 거
Does it
아닌가요?
depend? It depends on my
올라가기만
dinner.
해도 그래도
She said, "Well, then how was your
네.
나올
dinner?"
것 같아서. 네.
오늘
네.
And he said it's going to be 20 different dishes. I'm not following that one.
오늘은
Sorry.
저는 일단 기본적으로
We're deep in metaphors here.
태태전을 굉장히 많이 연습했어요. 거의 100%라고 치면 90%를
Anyways, I practiced a lot,
네, 1경기만 연습했기 때문에
especially
일단
TBT.
태태전에서 이겨야 될 것 같아요.
But I'm really just focused on my
태태전에서
first match
이기면은
coming
그
into this.
다음에는 쉬울 것 같다.
I think it's the most important is to do well at
그
the start of
다음에
this.
가면은 이 경기는 포기한 거죠. 승다전은 일단
And
정우영을
then after the turn
만나면은
matches, I'm just assuming everything's going to be
맵도
okay.
그렇고 저그전도 잘 못해가지고
If I win that and face
포기하고
effort,
최종전에서 이제 또 만나는 그런 시나리오를 그리고 왔어요.
it's almost like there's going to be no hope if I'm against effort. Damn, Artos are effort definitely the favorite here.
이제 유영진 선수 마지막으로 각오 한 말씀
Seems like all these players
부탁드립니다.
really respect each other.
네, 오늘 저번
Any final
시즌은
words?
예선 탈락하고 이번 시즌 올라왔는데 오늘 잘해서 한번
Last
올라가보도록
season I didn't even
하겠습니다.
qualify.
네. 박상준
But since
선수
I'm here now, I'm going to do my best.
다들 근데 얘기 들어보면은 다 테란전만 했대요. 뭐 저그전 안 하고.
Everybody said they practiced only Terran matches.
그래서 좀 약간 걱정이지만 제가 뭐
I'm actually a little bit more worried after hearing everybody say that.
네. 그리고 김정우 선수.
But I'm going to try my best.
오늘 조가 거의 죽음의 조인데 열심히 해서 올라갈 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
네, 감사합니다.
I feel like this group is a group of death for me.
재밌게
Once again, since
네,
detect sarcasm.
오늘도 역시 선수들의 각오가 정말 대단합니다.
And Lazy said he's
이마스터와
gonna play
함께
and
새롭게
enjoy tonight.
시작된 ASL
And that's going to do it for our interviews.
시즌
It's time
경기를
to
지금
send
바로
them to the
시작하겠습니다.
arena, Artosis.
I feel like those interviews were like a fever dream or something. Like
Yeah,
that was
so weird.
There was like word salad coming out of 3 of the 4 guys' mouths, and like it just nothing made sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm always excited to cast Effort. I'm a big fan of this guy. I think he's one of the scariest Zergs out there, and I'm curious to see what exactly Lazy's going to do against him. I feel like nobody's going to play a normal game against Effort. Now, Effort's also been knocked out of ASLs very early before.
That is true. And I would say that
Caught
realistically,
me picking my nose there too. That's the only way that you.
so gross.
That's the only way you can play
Now
it
you
off.
guys see what I have to put up with. I see
Normally,
him
I'm
all
just
the
rubbing
time.
my boogers on Dan.
Oh my god. Oh.
You got to keep your cool no matter what. Nothing can be weird for me
You know,
when the cameras are rolling.
we talk so much
Yes.
about the top 4 players ever, right?
Yeah.
Which is Flash, Jaedong, Bisu, Stork, but there's a supporting cast below them, right? Of players that are like just barely not there.
and Effort is one of them for
Yeah,
sure.
He is like Fantasy, Jongbi, and Effort are right outside those top 4 as just monsters of the same era. And Light is just right around there too. Like this guy is a champion. He's one of the brainiest Terrans that we've really ever had, but had kind of a more up and down career. He kind of popped up out of nowhere and stopped Bisu from becoming a Protoss Bonjour. Bisu was in his 2nd finals in a row, and in mind he's like, get the fuck out of here. Like, bash that nerd.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why you have no Protoss Bonjours, because of mine.
Yeah.
Because Bisu really deserved that. But yeah, he's legit really, really good. I saw him practicing with Jaedong a couple nights ago. So I think he definitely has the potential to kill Effort.
Now, I got to make a quick announcement here, guys. Our matches for Tuesday, that will be a week from here, are going to be starting at 5 p.m. Every other thing is 7 p.m. Yes. We have the drawings of the groups. Excuse me. We have the drawings of the groups. So we got to see exactly where everybody's going to land after that show. So if you're following this tournament closely and you're watching live, definitely mark that down. You don't want to tune in right when you miss the last group. Especially not with Shuttle, Firebat, Hero, and Snow.
Firebat, Hero.
Firebat, Hero. And Snow Hero.
Yeah. That is going to be a really fun group, of course. Firebat Hero, more of a commentator nowadays, barely squeezed into this tournament. But
it's giving me hope, guys.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be in the ASL one day along with you, Artosis.
Maybe. You're getting that cast off in a couple days, aren't you?
Well, we got to X-ray it, but I'm assuming that. I mean, I haven't used my hand at all. I was a good boy.
Yeah, your bones can't still be broken. You're not the only human in the history of Earth that
maybe I
doesn't
go in there
heal.
and the doctor's like, well, that's weird. You just didn't heal. And I'm like, what do I do? And he's like, I don't know. But I can't help you. Just shuts the door.
I don't think that'll be the case. So
never seen anything like that in my life, huh? That's weird. Just walks away.
So hopefully you'll be back to gaming soon, and maybe you'll be able to qualify for that next ASL Tasteless.
You know, I'm really conflicted though. I mean, do I win the ASL then, and give up my casting job?
No, you just do it like Shine. You only take off the days that you're playing.
Okay.
That guy still observes everything, man. Like he observes and comes in the next day and gets to the finals. Like,
yeah, that's true. So Effort had a real fall from grace when we consider, you know, our exhibition tournament before we had the rhythm of the ASL set in motion was one where he was doing really well. These other guys, you know, mine of course is very good, but not probably where he wants to be when you consider, you know.
Yeah, like he is someone I actually thought when he came up that he was going to challenge Flash for best Terran. And to be honest, when he came up, like Flash wasn't necessarily 100% the best Terran if I'm getting my timeline right in my head here. But like it seemed like Mind and Flash were going to lead Terran forward in the future, right? This is when Nada was falling off and stuff, and I Love Uv and all that.
It was ushering in a new era.
Yeah, and like. You know, Mind, like he didn't quite do it, but like he's truly a brainy Terran. So when they say that, hey, we heard you might just become like a teaching streamer. Oh please, God, yes. Oh please. Just,
yeah.
I'm gonna employ someone full time to translate those videos for me.
Oh yeah. Well,
like,
so good.
He's as smart as any Terran. But anyways, that's not the match.
You see Effort with his hair parted down the middle.
Yeah, this is actually the same haircut Rush had last time I saw him play.
This is we're going back to the '90s, boys and girls.
That's a.
What we need to do is get the bowl cut. Remember when everybody had a bowl cut? Do you remember that in your school?
Yeah, I didn't though.
I know you did. Well, I wish you did. You'd
actually, my mom had me part my hair, and I just like parted my hair for a long time, and then I stopped combing my hair. That's like how my hairstyles changed over the years. Eventually, I stopped parting. I just like I would dry it with a towel and then leave the house.
Oh yeah, I've done that for sure. So Effort is, you know, this guy is.
So I'm not one to talk about hair fashion, but yeah.
I think that this is going to be near impossible for Lazy to win. Now, that being said, this is a weird map. And we'll go into that a little bit more when the game starts, because it's almost too hard to explain without visual aid here. But can Protoss do anything crazy cheesy to Zerg on this map? Can you really? I feel like Zerg has a lot more advantages against Protoss on this map.
Yeah, it kind of seems that way, but if you just kind of expand, you can kind of get like 3 gases up as Protoss without too much trouble, right? So maybe.
Just seems like, I don't know. I'm going to let this map speak for itself. It's always tricky, especially on weird Brood War maps, to try to dictate the meta. There's certain parameters you can follow, like, oh, there's not gases at the natural, or, you know, it's pure raw islands. There's nothing connected. Then you have a little bit more to say. But on a map like Gold Rush or Skull Desert,
as it should be
named, you never know. You just don't know, guys. So we're going to have our first 2 maps on Gold Rush. After that, is it Crossing Point? Is that the name of the map?
Yes.
Okay.
Crossing Field.
Crossing Field, thank you. And then it's going to be on Fighting Spirit, the map we can't get rid of in Brood War, no matter how hard we
put that
try.
One down. It needs to go soon, though.
KT Giga Internet, ASL Season 4.
Gonna make sure I was wrong. I can tell for the heart can be blind and frozen.
Look at the skull. Beware.
Like that's Skull is about to bite someone, or at least laughing or something.
We don't know. That's part of the lore. We don't never unpack that. Zerg in the bottom right, Effort, and in the top center is Lazy.
That haircut, man.
Yeah, I know that hair part.
I like other haircuts that he's had more.
Something makes me think that when we went into the makeup room today, the makeup artist said, "Do you want me to do your hair?" And he said, "No, I'm okay." I just called a guess here, guys.
It's true. The pros get to choose if they want.
Yeah,
to put
some
makeup
pros
on.
are like, "I don't want to wear makeup," and I'm like, "Your acne is going to show."
You're on TV.
Yeah,
It's
you're
like,
on TV.
It's okay.
It's all right, but I don't think Effort got his hair done. I believe he does have makeup on, but apparently not with the hair.
It was actually really funny in GSL when Special was playing. You know, Juan, the Mexican Terran player.
Of course.
He's playing, right? And he sits down, he gets his makeup, they do his hair really nice. And then he puts a ball cap on right after, and the makeup woman is like, "No!" He's like, "Oh, no, I gotta wear this." It said like TY on it, didn't it?
I can't remember. I
Yeah,
think so.
because he was like, "Yeah, no, TY is my favorite." So I'll wear this.
So
hat.
funny.
It was so funny.
So
man.
funny the idea that he would let
someone
do his hair,
Yeah.
like knowing that he was going to put a hat on over it.
Yeah. By the way, he was a fantastic StarCraft 1 player. For
Very
anyone
talented
that
guy.
was not completely up on the StarCraft 1 scene amongst foreigners, he was really, really good. So, anyways, we'll see where our Protoss friend here goes, but that is a gateway just in the main base, no sort of walling going on. The map, I liked when you said it was like kind of a fixed outsider. It's like a better version of Outsider, and I totally agree with you on that. Like, I actually thumbs down Outsider and Ladder. I don't really like playing that.
Oh, Outsider is... now, I'm glad that they have that on the ladder, for sure, but that's a tough one.
I liked it a little bit more when it came out. Now that it's kind of figured out, I'm like, oh, God.
I think Outsider's a map we'd have to have out for like a year or so before it really gets hammered out, like what you need to do in some of those matchups, but it's cool to see. These very smart players play.
But this one I like quite a bit, right? Like, they're the expos around, like you can go around the map by passing through and stuff, but like you can still get into those expos if you need to. Whereas on Outsider, it's pretty much no, you're not going back there.
So, Artosis was sick yesterday and is sick today. I'm also now sick.
Yeah.
So if I sound a little bit weird or don't sound like I met my usual 300% self, you know why. You know, I'll say it right now.
Because you have no passion.
We should have not made out after Stork advanced last night. That was a big mistake.
Well, victory kisses are the only way.
I know. It's tough, right?
Dude, we were excited. I mean...
Oh, actually, you know what? I like what Protoss is doing. This is kind of cute. He just gets enough to block the ramp.
Yeah, he's like
and he just takes a
far
Nexus,
away.
in the upper left. That's kind of cool.
I like that as well.
And he puts the pressure on with the one Zealot coming out here. He's going to have to try to go to the main if he wants to do any real damage here. Otherwise, he's going to tuck that Zealot in the nook or go back home.
But just even forcing some lings right now isn't so bad. Those 3 hatches going to be going up very shortly here for Effort.
Gas going down here. There's Effort with his very standard over 500 APM.
Yeah.
If you ever watched him stream in first person, he's like the fastest player I have ever seen.
Yeah, there's a few players that actually have ridiculous APM. The highest APM pro ever was actually Yui, the Terran player, who had no success.
Yeah, well, that's because APM's not everything.
Well,
right?
yeah, no, he is the definition of spam. Like, there's literally a game that you can find where someone drops a tank on Lost Temple against him, and he has over 500 APM for this entire game, and he's basically mining from only one base at this point with just a few units, and with 500 APM does not manage to lift the command center before the tank kills it.
Yeah, that's
it's like that is the game that I will always remember about Yui.
Now these 3 lings going for the egg here. So again, the eggs are used as blockers. I wonder if as time passes on this map, Blizzard's going to add more little doodads that seem like a little bit more sensical. Do they operate in the same way?
I think that takes away some of the flavor, though, doesn't it?
You think so?
Yeah. I like how we have stupid things like eggs on maps and assimilators and stuff. I don't know. It's just like it's part of the beauty of this game.
I say you're old-fashioned, Artosis. I think we could just have something that's there. It's destructible. Because
hey guys, someone make a Reddit thread. It's very clear to me that Tasis wants to turn StarCraft 1 into StarCraft 2. He basically just said that.
I've been exposed. They're on to me now.
Yeah.
No, I just feel like, just for a new viewer, you see eggs in the Zerg's base, and you're like, are those Effort's eggs there? It's like, no.
Well, that's
So-
why they got us, though, so we can talk about that,
That's
because
true.
the early game takes forever to start. You know?
Yeah, StarCraft
It's like
1
we-
does have a slower pace. than
It really
StarCraft 2.
does.
So, Hydrogen on the way here. Zerg doesn't have to have a dramatic approach to maps like this. I think you can be pretty modest
Yeah.
in what you're doing. So that one probe does come through. He's looking to see if there's any kind of weird layer tech with a spire or something like that. And doesn't get any information at all, actually. Now, by the way, if you were to destroy those 2 assimilators, that actually blocks everything in. So that turns that into an island, essentially.
Oh, a Robo going up. He has a Stargate, right?
No.
Or does he not? He just straight up doesn't have a Stargate at all?
I think that's why the probe is sent in at that point in time, is you should see if there's
Yeah.
units. Because Dragoon Reaver, or just ground army with a Reaver, actually beats most of what Zerg has.
Yeah.
It's just that you're afraid of mutas.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. He didn't get the probe all the way in, so I'm just a little bit nervous.
Just playing blind, buddy.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Actually, this guy's idea is lazy. He's someone who hasn't done anything. Effort's one of the greatest Zergs of all time. So totally tip of the hat to him, just saying, screw that. I'm just going to get everything else a lot quicker.
You know what? This is something you can do to Zerg sometimes, and you'll just beat them.
Yeah.
You
And
just
that's
get a
what you should do,
Reaver
it's
with
a
a
best
ground
of one.
army. Yeah, and it's like... Now, I'm actually not sure about this. You're going to load up all 4 Zealots and have it harass somewhere? I think that's not worth it. I think it's better to just push with your whole army and have the Reavers there to assist. So now Effort sees this and goes, oh, God. And when he sees the number of Dragoons, he doesn't quite see all the gates. But usually if you see even more than 1 Dragoon here, you say, okay, he's going to Reaver push me. Not Reaver drop me, but Reaver push me. Now, of course, the reason why we don't see Reavers used all the time early game ZBP is that Reavers are only good in narrow areas if they're covered perfectly. And on a map this open, it's easy to get surrounded, and then the Reavers just can't be optimized. Try microing Reavers against Hydras. Those things move so fast, do so much damage.
Yeah, Reavers are really clunky. They're one of the dumbest units in the entire game.
I can't believe this. He's going to go for a drop. This is against, not that I'm, the guy, but I would say in PvZ.
You might not be the guy, but you're the man.
Yeah, thank you.
That's for sure.
Everything I've learned about this game would tell me that you should be pushing here, but I guess there are a lot of Hydras out here. It just seems like an odd...
Maybe it's like 1 quick Reaver drop and then go back because he's waiting for another Reaver, maybe another round.
I think he's got 2 in there. Am I wrong?
No, he's got 1 in there.
Huh?
Pretty sure.
Here we go.
Watch, he drops 3 out. I'm like, I guess we're both
He drops
wrong.
the 4 Zealots out. I'm like, okay, that's really bad. That's just not a thing
funny.
anywhere, man.
I like that. Where'd the Reaver go? It's like, we don't know. He doesn't know either, actually. He's like, I never made a Reaver.
I think he accidentally killed it with his Zealots, and he had to punish them by flying them all across the map to be fed to Hydras. It's total mutiny over there in
They're
Lazy's
begging right
base.
now.
Yeah.
Please, I don't want to become a dragon.
It's a robot it couldn't feel. So remember, when you get drop upgrade in Brood War, every Overlord can drop.
Yeah,
You can drop
that
anywhere.
link drop. There's nothing there to actually defend Lazy's natural, or well, it's not natural, but it's expansion.
Okay, we have Protoss pushing down now, but these links are just going to completely punish his base. Now this push has to work.
Yeah.
But I think Effort should be prepared. He needs to target the center of the clumps.
Oh my God,
man.
Okay, so
This is what it looks like when I try this online too, guys.
Yeah.
So you know, my Reaver's over here hitting stuff, but it doesn't matter because my main army's slowly dying off.
Or quickly
And
dying
that's
off.
basically game. GG. All right. The longer you wait, the more Hydras they're going to have.
Yeah.
You need to hit at a certain moment, but even then, I'm not sure if Effort's going to lose or something like that.
No, probably not. Even from, as he calls him, a top-tier Protoss and Lazy. So, Effort goes on the winner match. No big surprise there.
Yeah. Pretty straightforward game. I kind of feel bad for Lazy. This is a little bit of a lopsided group, though. When you really look at it, it's 2 guys that are pretty much, no matter what, going to get out. And if anything else changes from that, it's crazy. Totally got to reshape the narrative here.
Well, maybe Rush can make something happen. He's got some pretty decent play for someone who's still kind of up and coming. Definitely showed us some cool aggression in a previous season that I recall casting. So
yeah,
maybe I'll have a small chance against Mind.
I think this next game should be closer. I feel for I do feel for Lazy on that map. That's just sort of tough for Protoss to know what exactly they want to do. I don't know if the Dragoon Reaver push is really the answer on that map. I think the center's too open, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
seems that way.
That doesn't seem like something you would try every time and it would actually pay off, you know?
Yeah. No, well, I think it was kind of a gimmicky thing that he was trying just to try to take a quick win off of Effort. Didn't work out there. I think he's probably crossing his fingers that Effort gets to advance in first place so that he can just play Terrans like he was talking about.
Yeah, he can just do something kind of cheesy from here on out. Protoss like to do that.
Yeah.
Because other than that, I mean, I actually appreciate this, though, about Lazy, where he's saying, okay, what matchup do I need to actually win with here? What's the important matchup? In this case for him today, PVT, not PVZ. Anyway, so we're going to go to a short break. We come back, Mind versus Rush.
김진수 선수를 모시고 이 얘기 한번 나눠보도록 하겠습니다. 네! 광고를 하시잖아요, 퓨마 오늘. 네, 이거 좀 보여드리겠습니다. 오, 자 여러분 오늘 이거 드립니다.
이거예요.
네, 만지지만 내 거다. 벌써부터 지금 김신욱 형님 별명이 뭔지 아세요?
뭐예요? 백알사비?
아우!
얼굴로 웃긴 경찰은
김진수 화이팅! 퓨마 화이팅!
저기요, 우리 아빠 좀 찾아주세요. 저기요, 우리 아빠 좀 찾아주세요. 아빠, 이제 나와도 돼.
Halloween 2 is back.
왜 이렇게 X 생겼냐?
가슴 작네.
게임 쓰레기처럼 하네.
니다
같은 칼로 죽여버리고 싶다. 뭐 사람이 많이 부정적으로 변하더라고요.
사람을 마주치기가 좀 무섭고
어디론가 숨고 싶었고
정말 죽고 싶죠.
여자로서 굉장히 수치심이 느껴졌고
밥도 잘 못 먹고 잠도 잘 못 잤어요.
당신이 작성한 한 줄의 악성 댓글 누군가에겐 평생 상처가 됩니다.
카차, 카차, 카차. 카카오 닙스차, 후디스 카카오 닙스차.
뭐 마시지? 좀 가볍고 몸에 좋은 거 없나? 새로 나온 카카오 닙스차. 어때? 우와!
카차, 카차, 카차. 카카오 닙스차. 카차, 카차, 카차. 카카오 닙스차. 카차, 카차, 카차. 카카오 닙스차.
한 번 맛보면 이 매력에 쏙 빠질걸?
건강함에 쏙 빠지다. 후디스 카카오 닙스차.
날카로운 면도날이 이중 윤활 밴드를 만나다 시원함까지 더해진 당신의 면도. 쿨링을 더한 프로실드 7로 당신의 면도를 부드럽고 시원하게. 질레트 프로실드 7, 남자를 위한 최상의 선택.
Okay, we're going on to a match that I think has to be better than the last one.
Yeah. Well, it's got Terran players in it, so for sure that's the case.
Oh, there you go, Artosis. You're too biased to cast.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny. Like, for StarCraft 2, for basically, like, the entire time we've been casting it, right? Whereas in StarCraft 1, we played for most of the time.
Yeah.
So, like, our knowledge is so much more in-depth for our races in StarCraft 1 because we focused as players and then later became casters, whereas in StarCraft 2 we were casters all the way. So
well, we basically were competitive players for like 2 months or something, and then it was just, you know, what do they say, Artosis? A rolling stone cannot collect moss. I'm sure that applies here somehow.
That's perfect.
I've never noticed how handsome Rush is until now.
Well, because he had Effort's haircut last time we saw him.
That's right.
And with that haircut, you are really, you know, handicapping yourself on handsome meter tasteless. Well, I want you to come in with that haircut tomorrow.
I think that no man could. I'm trying to figure out what man could pull that off. Maybe Matt Damon. I think I've seen him with that haircut before.
Yeah, well, yeah. Like Good Will Hunting. Good
Will Hunting, yeah.
But that's like a 90s haircut.
Yeah, that's true. So, going into this, TVT on Gold Rush, I mean, this should be a pretty long, dramatic game. I'm kind of wondering, because I, you know, like you were just saying, we know a lot more about our respective races because we spend most of our time actually playing instead of casting in Brood War. What exactly do you do in TVT, and what do you want to watch out for? We're going to find out now. It's the Games Man.
Internet ASL Season 4.
Gotta make sure I go. I was wrong, I can tell, for the heart can be blind and frozen. Now I live with the pain every night.
Look at the skull. It's going to eat that left spawn.
You know what's screwed up, by the way? Well,
what?
That's mine, by the way, in the Purple Terran's Rush. But on desert maps, all the buildings in the sand and units in the sand are always Terran. It's map bias against Terran.
It's an omen. No human's going to live on
also
Skull Desert.
It's actually kind of funny because that's like kind of a joke, but actually now that I think about it, it's not exactly, because different tile sets actually can have different functions for races. Now listen, this is actually true. The biggest example is snow maps you can't play Protoss on because
you go blind, yeah.
Because the warping is so bright.
They used to have maps that were covered in snow, and they had to stop because it's actually so painful to have warp stuff in on a snow map, just on the eyes, the way the colors worked. I don't know if did they change that, though? They could have changed that and remastered.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think it's like there's less snow covering used generally. Like your main is, like Taucross, the main is all grass.
Yeah,
even though it's a snow tile set.
Yeah, it's almost, okay.
There's like totally frosting on stuff. But anyways, another thing is different tile sets sometimes have different ramps. Desert tile sets, the main ramps that are used there are actually a little bit wide. So it's not as comfortable as like jungle tile set for Terrans because they want smaller ramps a lot of the time.
So, in this TVT, man, I'm not sure what's the right way to play this. I mean, do you actually have to play a tight game because there's threats of drops everywhere? Do you want to try to get a quick expand, Artosis?
It's a good question. Like, you would imagine that you just want to go ahead and expand. Mine looks like he's going to take a gas, so I'm not sure what he wants to do with this. Because I mean, the expanding is just like good, right? Like if you expand, you can hold on against everything if you can kind of figure out what's going on, but that doesn't mean that you can't go for a one base to open. Like, for instance, Mind, he could go for like a very quick push, knowing that his opponent is probably going to go for a fast expansion. Like, the fast expand without gas that Rush is doing is super duper common. And you get siege mode with it pretty quickly to try to defend, but there's other things you can do. You can get a little bit cheesy and go 2-port Wraith against it, or you can get a little bit cheesy and go like Vulture drops, you know, and trying to just run speed Vultures all around, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not sure what Mine's plan is here, especially considering he stopped mining his gas. I guess he's just going to expand.
I do love TVT. It is such a beautiful matchup. And I know that there's so many people that are always bitching and moaning about, like, oh, mirror matchups. I never actually understood why that was really a thing. Yeah. I think mirror matchups are so awesome to watch.
Yeah.
When you see both players start out with the exact same amount of stuff, and somehow, some way, one player has to overcome the other. That is so exciting for me.
It is a beautiful thing. I really have always liked TVT for sure. And really all the mirror matchups I have liked. I was actually kind of joking the other day. Those are my best off-race matchups are mirrors. Like, that would have been a funny thing to be a mirror matchup player.
Actually, you know what? I think that's true for almost everybody, though, in Brood War. Your mirror matchup should be your best off race. Like, I can ZVZ.
Wait, what?
Yeah, for anybody in Brood War, the mirror matchup should be what should be best at. I mean, outside of your own race.
You think so?
Yeah. Because I can ZVZ. I mean, I can TVT, but just there's a point in time where it gets far enough in the game, I'm like, TVT has a lot more nuance and complexity in the later part of the game.
I always felt like the rock, paper, scissors formation was always best for people's off races, where it's like you're going to be better at PVT, ZVP, and TVZ, right? Because you can just kind of be the aggressor in those matchups, do aggressive builds.
My TVP is better than my TVZ.
Yeah. Because you can be the aggressor, like if you're playing an off-race matchup. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I see what you're saying. I always thought of it as reverse. Usually people are good at TVZ instead of TVP if it's their off-race, and then good at...
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you're off-racing.
For me personally, my Terran, if I play Terran versus a Protoss, I'm better than I am a Terran versus a Zerg for off-race.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, anyways. I guess I'm not sure where we're going with that anymore, but
I'm like, you know, so like you have white shoes and I have black shoes on, like I guess we're not the same human. Yeah, there's all sorts
really
of weird stuff. Yeah, it's weird.
So you're
I'm learning a lot here.
Different humans.
Yeah, like you like black olives and I don't. Like there's all sorts. I'm starting to figure something out here, and I don't even think you have the same thoughts that I do all the time. Like, what's going on?
No, we probably have the same thoughts.
Mostly, I'd say it's probably about 85% the same.
All day, mostly both of us think about tastes all day long. This is so stupid.
Oh my god. So Rush is taking up to rates here, but it's two factory for mine, right? Yeah. Now, one thing I will say in TVT, I have a hard time with is going for rates right away and making it work.
Oh yeah,
it's
very tricky because like
he's like playing mines, or he's like, I guess the mines don't get set up by those eggs. Okay.
But yeah, it's going race is a little bit tricky. Like if you go 2-port Wraith or something, a lot of the times you want to have a spot where you're deciding to switch out of Wraiths again. Like for instance, if you go 1 base 2-port Wraith, generally you're going to make 4. And if you make beyond that, like counterattacks are going to kill you. You're not going to have any siege tanks.
1 base, you generally make 4 Wraiths.
If you go like to starport, that's generally where you'll stop.
You stop.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Well, generally, yeah.
Now
because
I know
if you don't,
losing.
you'll never have siege
tanks. I get up to
or
like
command
8
center,
Wraiths, and then they walk across the map with like 3 Goliaths to kill me. I'm like, I'm like, I don't. There's something I'm doing wrong here.
Yeah. And if I recall correctly, right, that's 8 Wraiths or 4 Wraiths, 2 Volley, and a CV. So there's like a lot to that number as well.
Oh.
But anyways,
Tosis the Wise. You should have the beard here.
Unfortunately, I can't grow facial hair. Again, proving that we're not the same human.
Yeah. Wow. That's wild. So we'll see how prepared Mind is. If you get blindsided by Wraiths, things can fall apart pretty quickly.
Yeah, he has his scanners though. He has some Goliaths, so he's not going to take too much damage here. Pretty ready overall, and he has map control right now as well.
He wants to be super patient here to scan at the right time, because if he burns a scan, I'm like, that's 1 less fuel, guys.
So funny.
Thank you. Well, we can't be anywhere near as hyped today because we're both sick. Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know.
So there's some cool things about what we see Rush doing. The fact that he goes with the Wraiths, you lose map control by going Wraiths, right?
Absolutely.
Because your opponent has the ground units, so they get map control. Look at the map right now, the mini-map. You see all these dots. These are things like mines. There's a great vision right now for Mind. It's hard for Rush to really come out and do anything, but for this map in particular, this is something that can work out really super well because he's taking that base in the top left, he's knocking down these you know, these simulators and all. So he's actually going to get up onto a bigger economy than his opponent here, which is really, really good.
I'm just worried about the push from Mind. Again, this is a matchup where there's a lot of different tech paths you can take. And, you know, when you go up for the raids, there is some vulnerability there. Absolutely there is. And there's no tanks here at all. There are tanks somewhere in Rush's base, but they're not.
Yeah, he's bringing him down. Like, he can lose this wall, and that doesn't really matter at all, as long as he doesn't take any damage. So this is kind of the beauty of TVT. You can kind of do anything you want because tanks in siege mode in good position will hold on for like 100 years. So he's got that third base all finishing up and all that, and Mind taking his third now, but he is late on that. Yet he has map control, but what is he gaining from it right now? Not too much.
As we can see now, Mind continuing to grow on the map. There is going to be this problem that has to be addressed eventually here by Rush, which is the center control. Although this is maybe where we'll find out the rumors about Skull Desert become true, as the Skull actually then consumes the army on the middle of the map, like the end of some kind of an Indiana Jones movie, you know?
Just a giant sandworm comes out of the Eastern Army. Well, I guess there weren't freemen in those tanks, man.
Okay, he's just going to go for the bust.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think it actually could work. Oh,
yeah,
good targeting.
That's a sick snipe right there. Oh, and Rush actually goes too far up right there. Like, to siege within range of your opponent's siege tanks is definitely
You mean Mind went too far up?
No, Rush went too far up. Because he went up and sieged, and then the tanks got 2 extra kills there for free. So what you want to do is just kind of hold the line in this point. And eventually you can, like, push back out because the Goliath range is not quite enough. You can force their barracks back, and you have air control with the raids.
Still doing a good amount of damage there on those tanks. I think he might try to regroup, though, over here. I don't know if he wants to try to lean in on him anymore. Now, of course, with the pressure of that push over there at the front, you could use these drop ships and then drop them somewhere in the main. A lot of TVT has these big drops. Now, yesterday we saw Sock do a completely insane TVT strat where I think he got, it was like 9 drop ships, which is not normal.
Oh no, it was crazy. It was like an all-in maneuver
insane,
almost in a giant macro game. Like he was, it wasn't all in. It was more like we are deciding this now.
Yeah. But Mind keeping the pressure on is going to try to do a drop over here into the main, possibly trying to bust down the entrance, or maybe he's going to do some elevatoring where he drops that army in there and then picks everything back up, comes in again.
Ooh,
right, he's been spotted by the eBay.
Yeah.
Hero eBay.
All right, so this is a great unload to start this off with. Oh, this is going to be really dirty for Rush to try to clean this.
Ooh, and he's right over where the starports are. Now, I think he can take the dropships, pick up the next army, and drop on top of where these tanks are going to siege up as well.
Yeah, but there's some more units outside. I think he is elevatoring, like you were saying. So if Mind can get those in there, he's a little bit slow getting it in. If those had already unloaded, this would possibly just end the game right there. Even so, it might now.
I think, here's the thing, is if he drops on top of those tanks, which he's not doing, okay, he's still going to drop over here and try to cover that one remaining siege tank.
Notice the SCVs, one of the greatest units in TVT. This is actually how you're supposed to clean up big drops too. You have to pull all your SCVs. So you're like trading some of your economy for some of their army. It's
SCVs are pretty beefy, so it's okay for them to take some damage. It's not like drones, or if they're just sort of there at all, they're going to die.
Yeah.
Especially against Splash. Same with probes. But that makes them a great tool in a Terran versus Terran.
We don't see the science facility yet here. Definitely important to keep track of when they are going for that +2 attack. A lot of dropships filled up for Rush here also. So.
Yeah, well, Rush is long past the phase of the game where he was only relying on air. And with those extra starports, he was able to make some great dropships.
Ooh, that's a sick pick off there.
Big shutdown there.
You gotta assume that either had 4 Goliaths or 2 tanks or a tank and 2 Goliaths.
Yes.
Nothing
like Great Marines. No, I'm sorry.
Look, maybe I had vultures. No, I didn't have that either.
Didn't have that. So, I think that was a great play there by Rush. Mind is actually pretty spread out here. He expanded, although he does have more expansion. So, We still need to see Rush actually come in here and dominate a certain position. It's mostly been Rush on the defense throughout this game, which is okay. You can do that in TBT.
Yeah.
For a while. So look at how successful Yosh got, man. Remember that guy never attacked the Terran for Staren, man.
No, he certainly did not. That was the trick to beating him. You just expand everywhere. But dropships actually find a way through the turrets, but Mind knows he's out here. So when you know the dropships are out in a certain area, definitely you can chase them down with Goliaths and whatnot. Oh, look at this kind of sneaky maneuver.
This is
I like
really
that.
tricky.
This is really cool. And now he can actually move out with the rest of his units, clear out whatever mines are in there as well. That science facility is up for mines, so he'll be having +2 on the way.
Rush is looking to pounce here on this base of mines. And he might have enough. I'm not sure where the majority of Mines' army is. We see some units were unloaded down there at the kind of center right base, but most of the other army is actually in dropships, and I think that Mind might be off tempo here, trying to be aggressive and drop when he actually simply put Kanat. In fact, he's going to have to defend this, and this is a really scary drop up here.
Oh, man, yeah, this is going to be dirty.
Whoa.
With all those depots kind of in the way right now.
Oh, and he's doubling down.
Oh, God, yeah. Rush is going to kill him, man. Look at that.
Yeah, well, I mean, how do you bounce back from this? I mean, first of all, Mind's going to lose all of his depots here, and he's so close to being supply blocked as it is.
This is the actual Doom drop that we see, right? Like the earlier drops, they can do a lot of damage, but you will eventually clean them with SCVs and units, but he's hitting like a critical mass of tanks here, where as long as he spots for everything, to break this is too expensive. It's not even worth it. It's better to just rebuild the building somewhere else. Like he's just losing his main.
We are coming down here now. And I gotta say, man, I mean, the supply cap is already so bad for Mind. The fact that he can't produce, that his factories have been lifted, and that Rush is continuing to grow at a very scary rate, I think the next drop actually KOs Mind. This is a huge upset here.
Yeah, Rush playing a very, very solid game. Mind GG's, no big surprise there.
Nicely done, Rush. What an upset, wow.
Yeah. But, you know, he's shown good games in the past here in ASL, so kind of cool to see him continue to do so. I wonder if he's going to take down Effort on crossing fields, though.
I say probably not. I think we're going to see Effort jetpack out of this group.
Okay.
And then it's going to be a fight with these three guys at the bottom. Now, Mind has to go up against Protoss, and Lazy did practice a lot of PvT, so he might have some great tricks up his sleeve that could really throw off his opponent here. So a lot to look forward to here. Effort, though, TVZ, or ZVT, rather. So good.
Very good
so
stuff.
Sick. Can I ask you a question? Do I say rather weird? Is it supposed to be rather? A lot of people get on my case about this.
You can say it as rather. You do say it like a pretentious prick, but like, you know.
Well, you say that word.
Rather.
Rather?
Yeah. You're always like, I rather.
Rather. We'll be right back after the short break.
매주 8강전을 진행할 거예요. 여기 계시는 섭외 되신 분들은 매주 8강전을 진행하신다고 보시면 되고 8강전을 진행해서 1위를 뽑고 그 주 1위가 이제 전주 1위랑 결승전을 진행을 해서 상금을 타가는 형식이고요. 6주 동안 1위를 계속하는 만약에 그런 단계가 생긴다면 그 팀은 최종적으로 1,000만 원까지도 받아갈 수 있는
지금 정해야 되는 게 룰인데
서든 유저들을 대상으로 하는 어떤 이벤트 개념이면 클랜전 룰을 그냥 도입을 해서 그냥 쫙 가는 게 맞고
똑같은데 결승을 챔스룰로 그냥 라운드제로 하고
밸런스 같은 거 다 따져봤을 때 챔스룰식으로 그냥 대회룰로 해도 재밌을 것 같은데.
그러니까는 이게 컨셉이 복면가왕 그 컨셉이야. 다 치러서 올라오고 가왕이 한 명 있잖아. 그 컨셉으로 생각하면 쉬워.
그러면 결승에 간 팀은 있잖아요. 블루의 레드예요.
아, 그거 지난주 우승자가 내는 거네?
네,
그죠? 선레드 거네. 선레드, 그 다음에 선블루 선레드네? 3주 이선.
네. 그리고 총 제한.
총제한은 네. 샷건이나 이런 건 어차피 다안할 거고.
그 세발건이라고 있는데.
웨스킨 벨트.
이거는 몇 세트?
너무 차이가 너무 심해. 이제 개인 방송을 해.
스나들이 그것만 들고 직진하면서 쏘면 못 이겨요, 라프이들이.
그거 빼!
주점이요? 아주 잘 나왔어요. 첫 경기에 솔직히 그냥 제가 라플에도 이길 것 같아요.
와, 비주가 좀.
이하요.
그리고 또 가왕 자리에도 지키고 있는 맹밍이. 쟤는 그냥 귀여운데 못하는데 어떻게 가왕 자리 저기 왜 가 있는지 모르겠어요.
저번 멸망전에서 별명을 미끼스나라는 별명을 얻었거든요. 솔직히 좀 더럽게 못했어요.
미키스나 이하연 그냥 솔직히 별로예요.
이거 커피는 어떻게 맞다니까. 여자친구 있는 사람 다 힘없는 거야?
저희가 그때 저번 멸망전에 조시 팀한테 4강전에서 졌어요. 그래가지고 이번에 밟아야죠.
껌이죠, 그냥. 밟고 그냥 지나가는 그냥 껌이라고 생각하고 저희가 그냥 뭐 가지고 그냥 장난감으로 가지고 놀 것 같아요, 그냥. 올라갈 가능성이요? 근데 진짜로 제 하기에 다른 것 같아요. 제가 그날 컨디션이 일단 제가 술을 안 먹어야 돼요. 이제 6주 동안 이제 진행을 하잖아요. 6주 동안 일단 이제 나이가 이제 34살이기 때문에 이제 술 먹은 다음날 이제 마우스 잡기가 힘들어요. 손이 떨리기 때문에.
저희는 서든의 키티팸이라서 누가 올라오든 상관없고 저희는 돈만 챙겨가겠습니다.
저는 이게 서든 할 때 한 번도 진 적이 없어요. 지금 PD님께서 저를 처음 보시지만 진짜 저는 거의 100판 하면 99판 정도? 이게 팀들이 저랑 이제 같이 하면 이제 또 스포트라이트를 못 받으니까 그래가지고 또 제가 그냥 해설로 그 양민들을 위한 배려? 제가 나가면 또 밸런스 파괴 제가 일부러 해설로 더 넓은 폭넓은 해설로 완전 상위권 위에서 아래를 내려보는 해설 그 해설로 여러분들께 좋은 말을 해드리는 거죠.
Hold on, I gotta take out my throat lozenge. All right, let's go.
Lozenge.
That's what it's called, right? It's a lozenge.
A lozenge.
A lozenge. Look at you.
Lozenge.
I studied German in school. Whatever, man. Effort.
Would you rather that I don't correct you?
So it's gonna be Rush against Effort. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm like in Age of Empires 5. Let's get this going, guys. Effort versus Rush. Rush looking pretty damn good. You take out Mind. I think you got to be. You can't count him out. Look, getting the shoulders rotated. All right, he's ready. Look at this guy. He's ready.
He has a chance here. We'll see if he can. We saw last night not be able to make it out of a group where it felt like he should be the best player in it, but
dude, that throw lozenge is crazy. I can't even taste the coffee when I drink it now.
Yeah, I told you I had numbing effects.
That's crazy. Do you know if you mix vinegar and baking soda, crazy stuff will happen?
Yeah,
I'm learning all sorts of stuff today.
I did that with my daughter while we were on vacation.
Yeah,
and like. Hold on, I'll tell the story in a second. We're about to start the game. I don't like being interrupted.
Let's go to the winners match and see who's going to be our first survivor tonight.
So we bought a big thing of like baking soda and the big thing of vinegar. And just some other stuff to do some science stuff with, right? And so I showed her about it, and it was a really fun kind of cute learning experience, and she was like kind of playing with it and doing different things. Yeah, that's effort right there, guys. His opponent is Rush, the Terran. But then, like, I'm like, okay, I go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Come back out. All the vinegar has been used.
Are you serious?
We went from having vinegar, and then I went in, and then it's like, okay, well now I can really do what I want to do, and it's like just like all the vinegar is
so funny.
Is poured into whatever. It's pretty cute.
I was wondering if Rush was actually going to Rush on this map, but I guess
I think it's
he doesn't want to do any kind of proxy racks or anything weird like that.
I'm kind of interested to see the way in which he wants to play this. Like, there are some different kind of cheesy things. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we just see like a 14cc. Who's that?
Who's that guy?
I don't know, some weird lumberjack looking guy.
Good to have Rapid down here in the studio.
But there are a lot of things, and we see that he is going to take that back natural first. That makes sense. So I'm scrolling or going through his positional hotkeys there, and that was the second one. So I would imagine.
I do want to point out on this map that over to the left of Effort's main or to the right of Rush's main are many neutral critters known as Bengalas.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I like to imagine that they are actually carnivorous, and drops that are killed over that area are then consumed by those Bengalas.
Well, what else do they eat? They're trapped in those little things.
Yeah.
Those little pits.
Yeah. I don't think there's even two of them together. I don't know if they're going to be able to make Bengalas babies.
I think there is a cage with two of them. Actually.
There is one?
Yeah.
Cage, though, really. More like pit.
Yeah, it is
Monortosis.
A pit is nothing but a natural cage. Now,
wow.
Okay, so a command center first. There are different builds. Like, is he going to go bio? You can go directly into... there's like a very certain Goliath 2-base build that's really strong, actually.
So you go straight into mech, 2-base Goliath?
Yeah, it's like you go 2-base Goliath with armor upgrades, and like it's kind of funnily strong. But the third base is kind of free for Zerg.
You ever seen this cool trick you can do with Terran, where you wall in and make a few Marines at the front, and then you make 2 factories and make upgrade speed for vultures, and just get like 6 vultures or 8 vultures and just run them into their main.
Yeah.
And behind that, you make a 3rd factory in the army and just make a bunch of Goliaths. And usually you kill enough drones, and then they have a hard time killing it, and then the Goliaths just walk in and win the game.
Yeah, that's definitely one way you can try to cheese your way into a...
I guess against a really good player, be like, why is he on one base? And just stop you.
There's actually a kind of neat 3 factory Goliath 1 base all in that I saw Jadon playing against the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I kind of took note of what it looks like so I can try it out later.
Okay. We're over here in this game where Effort now is taking his 3rd base. We're waiting to see what exactly the tech's going to be. An eBay coming up here. I think he's going to be going for bio. Effort, man, when you watch this guy stream, it's like all the pistons are running. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's got the nitro in the engine.
Yeah.
He's got the high-octane gasoline that costs like $1 more a gallon.
Yeah. So we have layer tech on the way. And we'll have to see if he just goes for Spire right away, or is it perhaps going to be Lurker Ling? I think both are acceptable.
Yeah. I think the Spire just makes so much more sense here.
I think so.
Like, Effort's fantastic at Mutalisk Micro. And it's just it's such a big map, and he already has 3 gases. So it's like he doesn't even need the Lurker tech that badly.
It's a really good point that you're making here, is the fact that Zerg gets 3 bases right away stops one of the big problems that a lot of people really struggle with in ZVT, is trying to just get a 3rd base. Some Terrans are so good at denying that, it's insane.
Yeah. Now, he does throw down a Hydralisk Den just to make us look the fool.
Look dumb.
Yeah, well, he didn't need any help, Effort. Thanks very much. Hope you lose the game now, bro.
Yeah, it's going to be Lurker Tech right away here.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like, you can really open in either way. The Mutalisk is what Zergs really kind of wish they could always do. But, you know.
I suppose he might have enough muscle to just try to keep Terran on the high ground. Factory is very late here. With no factory, the biggest factor with that of all is that Marines cannot take on lurkers in narrow areas.
Yes, that's very true.
So let's say he gets a bunch of lurkers on the low ground. Terran can't get out of his base for a long time.
Well, you know, this is super common right now to go 4 or 5 barracks and just have a lot of bio out there. Try to have some map control. But I wouldn't be surprised if he just stays on 4 and goes into factory from here. That would kind of make some sense to me personally, just because, again, there's only one area for effort to defend. For the actual kill, you need tech. Effort is not someone who will just die to bio.
Now, with this delayed factory, there will be a lot of Marines out much more quickly. So what you have to keep in mind, too, is if Terran can get a good spread on the map or be out in the open, there's a lot of fights that Terran can win. But you're still at risk of dying to hold position lurkers, which is legal in all tournaments. So, and the hold position lurkers, and this may become redundant for some of you guys that are like yelling at the computer screen, like, no, no, don't condescend to me.
They probably don't even know.
But a lot of people that are watching this don't know. So you can grab lurkers in one overlord and hit hold position. The lurkers won't attack until you tell them to.
Yes, and a burrowed lurker just doesn't have that command. The same is true, like SCVs do not have patrol or hold position, so you have to, and that's all workers, right? So you have to shift and grab another unit with them to make them do either of those, but you can't make them do those things. They know how, they just don't have a button for it.
Okay, he's going to have a lot of lurkers along with these lings. Okay, we're going to hold position lurker, here we go. All right, well.
This is going to be brutal.
Oh my God! Okay, that was a little bit later. I don't know how he did that so late. That was...
Yeah.
Okay,
had
whatever.
One job effort. Well, it was still good, but...
Well, yeah, it still basically worked, but now he's going to try to dive in here, maybe even going for the main. I mean, there's left lurkers. He can kind of leapfrog them almost up the ramp.
Oh, good micro there by Rush.
Wow, Rush, you are sick. Gets the one medic. No healing for you, buddy. But I think he can get sandwiched pretty easily here as well. I'm surprised he's trying to push this.
Yeah, this is a little bit surprising, especially with this flank, as you said. Like, ooh, the back part of it dies so quick. This is actually all going wrong for Rush.
Effort controlled that perfectly.
God.
Wow.
Oh my God.
And that SCV's not producing anymore either, so, okay.
That was so brutal. That is not how that was supposed to look. When you flank lurkers, it's supposed to go better than that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Seemed like he even came in the right order, right? He came in from the bottom first and then had the rest that were in larger numbers at the top, but
yeah, because you want the first spines hitting the bottom Marines, but nothing worked out there for him, and now he's actually quite behind. He's lost a ton of units. Oh my God, so many kills on those lurkers.
Lurkers are burrowed up here. Again, with no vessel, lurkers could just run away from scans all day. Okay, he's getting a little bit ambitious here. He doesn't even have +1 armor on those. I thought maybe he would have something like that. Look at this. Out of range.
Oh, God. So, Defiler Mound is on the way. He's taking a 4th base against 2 base Terran right now. This is not how this is supposed to look.
He's going to get that tank. He actually might even get the second tank. Nope. Second tank lives, but there should be a lot more lurkers and lings behind this. Ling lurker, when Zerks figured this out, because a lot of times it used to be lurker Hydra, until people mathed it out and were like, wait a minute, you're going to have so many more lurkers and just a bigger, more robust army. Plus, lings are already just basically good. So once again, he goes for hold position lurkers. This is something, if you're learning, use this strategy, okay?
Oh yeah, it's so good.
You are a fool if you're not using hold position lurkers. I mean, it's just, anytime you're outside their base, it just should be on hold position. All right, here we go.
This is, oh my God.
Never
this is game losing at this point. Like, he can't lose anymore like this.
Oh my God. Boom! Okay, so there's one vessel coming up here. Lings are coming in here from behind. I think this will be the killing blow.
Yeah. Well, Rush has, like, nothing left, even though he has his bases still mining and, like, good production.
That's it. GG. Effort too good. Yeah. Effort, you ascend to where you belong the next round of the ASL.
Well, that was pretty brutal. Hold position lurker is very good. Thank you for the lesson, Tasteless. They are really hard for Terran to deal with. Like, there used to be a different meta where you'd have to get a science vessel and 3 tanks after your initial marine move out because you were afraid of that. The meta has changed at this point. Effort shows that it's still a very strong strategy.
That means we have our first survivor of the night. Effort, rightfully so, moves on, and now we find out who will be our first player to be eliminated. As we have Mind versus Lazy. Again, Mind is the other player we're all sort of expecting to have move on, but he's already lost to Rush. Lazy only prepped for PBT. He might have a tough road ahead of him.
김정우 선수.
감사합니다.
Congratulations,
이승
Effort.
영구의
Thank you.
최고의 성적으로 16강에 진출에 성공을 했습니다. 정말 기쁘시죠?
2-0.
네, 일단은
You must be very happy to advance
홈에서
easily.
이렇게 1등으로 올라가게 되니까 너무 기쁘고요. 일단 열심히
Well, I made it out of the group
보람이
first, so I'm definitely
네,
happy
그리고
about
제가
that.
또 궁금했던 게 있는데 방금
feel like all my
유영진
effort really paid
선수의
off.
대결에서 유영진 선수와
Good one, Tasteless.
정찰 성공을 했잖아요. 드론으로.
네.
그래서 패기 있는
So the match against Rush.
근데 왜 노스포
You were just sitting back there.
저는 그게 좀 궁금하더라고요.
사실 그걸 좀 고민했는데 저글링
You already
좀 더
scouted
빨리
how he was gonna play.
뽑아서 이제 제가 럴커하는 거를 의도를 안 보여주기 위해서 좀 정찰을 먼저 끊는 게 우선이라 생각했어요.
그래서 스포닝을 먼저 의도.
I produced enough fast links,
네.
and I was able to get a read on what he was doing.
예, 많은 분들이 궁금해하셨던 그런 부분을 물어봐 주셨네요. 우리 뭐 준비했던 뭐 테크 속도에 맞춰서 뭐 이렇게 진행을 했던 것 같은데 오늘은 확실히 달랐습니다. 지난 시즌 1, 2,
So I guess you
3는
played out what you prepared.
뭔가 좀
It seems like you're playing very differently from previous seasons.
무엇입니까? 분석해 보니까
아직
What do you think was the biggest difference
지난
between
시즌들을
today and the
돌아보면은
previous
16강을
seasons?
못 넣었거든요. 그래서
Well, when I look
아직까지
back,
이번 시즌도 아직 불안하긴 마찬가지고
I just couldn't get out of the round of 16. I couldn't break
이유는
past
그냥
that
제가 더
membrane.
못했던 것 같고요. 그냥 좀 잘 보완해야 될
I'm
것 같아요.
still not past round of 16, of course, though. So hopefully, in the next phase of this tournament, I'll recover.
이길 가능성이 높다라고 생각을 했겠습니다.
So your performance today basically looked perfect.
상대방의 그 의도를 어떤 식으로 생각을 했었나요?
첫 경기요.
When you scouted your opponent's base,
일단은 계속 약한 척 하더라고요.
you seem to predict this movement. They're talking about the first
오버로드로
series he played.
정찰하고서
좀 이상했죠?
Lazy.
이 자식이 방심하게 만들고 준비해왔구나.
He's always whining in the makeup room.
운 좋게 이겼던 것 같아요.
그리고 마지막 경기에서도
When I scouted that, I thought, okay, I see what he's prepared and I know how to respond.
경기를 잡은 거나 마찬가지였지 않습니까? 쭉 파고들면서 병력들 뒤로 빠지게 만들어 놓고 언덕 위쪽에서
Seems like only with a few links,
잡았을 때
you're able to fake him out.
어떻게 생각했나요?
I'm sorry, guys, I didn't catch the last part. What was going through your mind?
그냥 대박이 터질까 말까. 원래 그런 거 있잖아요.
When he moved out at the time that you wanted.
그러면서 약간 각을 좀 오래 재던데요.
사실 중간에
and we're talking about the game against Mind here, where you moved out and your whole position lurkers caught him.
좀 너무
지나갔어요.
너무
약간.
욕심을 좀 부린 것 같던데요.
그러니까 풀려고 손은 올라가 있는데
Oh, they're talking about how he sort of missed the exact moment to hit that.
조금 더 큰 잭팟을 꿈꿨던.
It almost crossed over the entirety of your army.
보여줬던 김정우 선수였습니다.
네,
My hand was on the key. I just didn't quite hit the exact right moment, I guess.
선수가 혹시 있나요?
16강.
Any players you want to face as you go to the round of 16?
그냥
Well,
잘 모르겠어요. 아직 생각을 안 해가지고 오늘 떨어질 수 있다는 생각을
it's too early to try to focus on that.
네, 그리고 마지막으로 우리 응원해주신 팬 여러분께
I was too
인사
busy
한번
worrying if I was going to get eliminated today. Any words to your
요즘에
fans?
좀 부진한 데다가 좀
Recently.
스모크 통증 때문에 좀
I know I haven't performed as well as a lot of people expected me to.
덕분에 이긴 것 같아서
That's caused me a lot of pain.
네, 축하드립니다.
But I know there's still people out there who are supporting me, so I want to say thank you.
축하드립니다.
And I'm going to show some great games
오늘 C조의
down
첫
the road.
번째 승자인 김정우 선수까지 만나봤습니다. 저희는 잠시 휴식
Hold
후에
position
패자전
lurkers is
대결로
good. It's one of the things that
돌아오겠습니다.
makes this matchup so exciting. Anyways, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, Mind versus Lazy.
김진수 선수를 모시고 이 얘기 한번 나눠보도록 하겠습니다. 네! 광고를 하시잖아요, 퓨마 오늘. 네, 이거 좀 보여드리겠습니다. 오, 자 여러분 오늘 이거 드립니다. 네. 만지지만 내 거다. 벌써부터 지금 김신욱 형님 별명이 뭔지 아세요?
뭐예요? 베가사비?
아우! 얼굴로 웃긴 게 없잖아요. 김진수 화이팅! 퓨마 화이팅!
저기요, 우리 아빠 좀 찾아주세요. 저기요, 우리 아빠 좀 찾아주세요. 아빠, 이제 나와도 돼.
Halloween 2, he's back.
왜 이렇게 X 생겼냐?
가슴 작네.
게임 쓰레기처럼 하네. 니다 같은 칼로 죽여버리고 싶다. 사람이 많이 부정적으로 변하더라고요.
사람을 마주치기가 좀 무섭고
어디론가 숨고 싶었고
정말 죽고 싶죠.
여자로서 굉장히 수치심이 느껴졌고
밥도 잘 못 먹고 잠도 잘 못 잤어요.
당신이 작성한 한 줄의 악성 댓글 누군가에겐 평생 상처가 됩니다.
카차, 카차, 카차. 카카오 닙스차. 후디스 카카오 닙스차.
뭐 마시지? 좀 가볍고 몸에 좋은 거 없나? 새로 나온 카카오 닙스차. 어때? 우와!
카차, 카차, 카차. 카카오 닙스차. 카차, 카차, 카차. 카카오 닙스차. 카차, 카차, 카차. 카카오 닙스차.
한 번 맛보면 이 매력에 쏙 빠질걸?
건강함에 쏙 빠지다. 후디스 카카오 닙스차.
날카로운 면도날이 이중 윤활 밴드를 만나다 시원함까지 더해진 당신의 면도. 쿨링을 더한 프로실드 7로 당신의 면도를 부드럽고 시원하게. 질레트 프로실드 7, 남자를 위한 최상의 선택.
Welcome back to the ASL. We're in the loser match now, where a former champion in mind finds himself suddenly. And that means that he might not be making it out. We already saw Last eliminated very unceremoniously and quickly yesterday.
Let's not forget that Lazy said he only prepped for PvT. And there can be some very specific builds even the best tier players can be thrown off by. So I'm curious. I'm very curious to see how this game unfolds, but it should be a tough one for both sides. Yeah. We saw Rush dominate Mind earlier, which makes me also a little bit worried for Mind, is that I thought a player like him in a TVT should come out on top no matter what.
Yeah.
And Rush, I think, overall looked like he was, at least from what we've seen, in better form than Lazy. So see that? See what I did there, guys? This is how you do it as a caster. I came from every possible angle.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's pretty impressive, Taste.
Kids at home taking notes.
Yeah. So the map crossing field, I don't think you can really rush here too well early on. Probably just
Protoss can.
Like with what?
With proxied buildings.
Okay. I don't think you're going to do that though.
Why? Why not?
I think proxying a building against Terran here is not going to be any good. You have to go up a ramp.
Or toast.
Yeah.
You don't count like a proxy Reaver drop or something as a rush?
You could go for that, but
okay, good. Apology accepted. We're ready to go into game 4.
Again, you can go a scout rush if you want, but like it really, I mean, it seems like it's a macro map to me.
Micro.
Macro.
We have Lazy in the left and Mind in the right. I want you to know that obviously we've been working within the StarCraft scene for a long time, and I remember, Artos, the first time you and I were overseas, you were representing the United States in WCG, and I was casting to the global audience, and I discovered how many Europeans did not say micro, they said micro.
Oh yeah, it's really weird.
But
they also call
she's
it
got some very good micro. Europe. But what about our pointy shoes in Europe?
The same pair of black shoes that every single Russian StarCraft player I've ever met wears.
These soccer ball.
It's like almost elf shoes, but not quite.
Yeah. It's got to be pointy.
The thing is, it's pretty fashionable now. Meanwhile, we Americans are just like wearing high tops over there.
I know,
and stuff
right?
like
We're wearing
that.
running shoes,
skater shoes, or something like.
The soccer ball you play is not the same as the soccer ball we play.
Except they use the word football. Yeah,
that's a joke.
I know.
There's at least one angry European guy. It's not how we're like. I don't get sarcasm. Now, in this game, what has Lazy got in store for us? I do wonder how good carriers could be on this map.
Ooh, I don't think it's a carrier map.
Yeah, I
at
don't
all.
think it is.
I think it's very much an arbiter map.
I agree.
Carriers seem like they would, and I don't say this lightly, I don't think carriers would be good here.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big statement coming from me, considering 90% of my games I lose to carriers. But, yeah, I think it's like this is basically a Rax expand or Gate expand or even Nexus first or CC first map. And it's an arbiter map, and it's a macro map. Like,
this is one of the first things a Protoss player will ask himself when he looks at the map is, can I viably tech the carriers? Now, sometimes you can tech the carriers under a different premise, like you're trying to catch them off guard, and it's not really about them knowing about the carriers. Of course, you always want to keep that a secret, but in some cases, they can sort of know you're going carriers, and you're still sort of kind of okay. So we got to wait and see what that's going to be. By the way, Mind did go for a quick command center here.
Yeah, the CC first makes a lot of sense. You're either going to go 14 or 16 CC here almost completely, right? 16 would be with a barracks, 14 would be without. As a Protoss, I think it's basically the same type of way. Like, just proxy gates and proxy Raxes, when you get up to really high-level play, doesn't work so well. And, like, especially the proxy Raxes wouldn't work because you expand behind. Like, the most you're going to generally do with that is kill a Nexus, right? If someone goes Nexus first. And if you have to go through that whole main base area, it makes it a lot harder.
So, got to be careful of a good Protoss player with a probe early on in your base, because this can do a lot of damage. It's faster, it gets some momentum a little bit more quickly.
Heals.
It heals. It can build structures that interfere with whatever you're trying to do.
Has range.
Yeah.
Versus absolutely no range. Range 0, which is the thing that makes me the maddest about the SCV. If you have range 0, at least make it a melee unit. Nope. Ranged unit doesn't do damage under Dark Swarm. Range 0.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Now,
isn't that the definition of melee? Hand to hand, if you have range 0, right? If I hit you with the gun, that's a melee attack, right? If I swing it and it's like in my hand, it's the same as if I'm holding like a roll of quarters, okay?
Yeah, or a rock.
We do need a patch, okay? We do need a patch, and it lets SCVs hit under Dark Swarm.
I don't know, man. SCVs are already pretty good, man. 60 HP.
Oh, yeah, they're fantastic. That's why Probe can kill 2 while it's in your base.
Yeah, this Tasteless Probe kills 3, too. It's pretty scary, man. Watch out.
Well, that's only because you stay in the game after I've left. Because I leave it, too. That's it.
So, this is the traditional PvT Nexus first build. You cut a few probes here and there, but you get the 2 gateways up. I don't know if this is the way you want to do it, though, against somebody who went for Command Center first, though. I don't think you need the 2 gateways up right away.
Agreed.
I think that there's a better way to do this.
Well, I think he's doing a stock build. He was just having this plan from the get-go. But yeah, you're super right, where it's like, if he's going CC first, hell, make a 3rd Nexus.
Yeah, you know, exactly.
Why are you making units right now? Why are you making 3 Dragoons to What are you going to do? Are you going to walk all the way across the map? He's going to have a battle cruiser by the time you get there.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're going to attack up that ramp? Like, no, you're not going to do anything.
Well, usually you even get those 3 Dragoons out because you're trying to stop like a one-base guy who's going to come at you with like 4 SCVs and a bunch of Marines and a tank. But yeah, I think getting a 3rd Nexus is just the way to do it.
I agree.
To dead! Party's over. Takes that out. Now, Mind, I'd say overall, I give him a little bit of a lead here. I like the build he's using, but it's not anything tremendous.
Yeah.
Now with these units, he is going to move across the map and probably try to make it a little bit trickier. Now look at this. Now, this is a really cute
two-base carrier. That is.
Yeah.
This is kind of what you were talking about before, where you can kind of this is actually going to possibly work out super well because it's a 3rd command center from Mind. If I'm Mind here, I think he just took a 3rd Nexus. It only makes sense. You saw me go CC first.
Yeah.
You went Nexus first. You'll just make another Nexus. And he is making another Nexus, but this is like, this will really, truly catch you off guard.
Yeah, and he's checking the main here for what the tech is going to be. Now, one thing that you can give this away right away is if you just don't see enough gates, you can keep scanning and be like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah, with this exact... Okay, so he used both his scans just now. This is so lucky for Lazy. He scans the main base. When you see 2 gateways with your initial scan, it generally means 3rd Nexus. And they'll be adding the gates like right around the time you're scanning. And then he scanned the front instead of the back. So right now, Mind is probably thinking, okay, you got like your Robo at the back natural. That's fine, whatever. You know, that's where you're going to build your observers out of. But instead, it's carriers that he has not scouted. Look at that. That turret, what's that going to do? That going to fight off those carriers later? No, he has no idea. So I think Lazy has a very good chance of winning this. If you don't scout this until they have 4 carriers, you lose.
The problem is if it is spotted still, it's a very easy response from Terran. They just make an armory and they only make Goliaths. And they kind of pretty much just win. But this is cute here from Lazy. Now this definitely does seem like a pre-packaged build, right? Like he was going to do this no matter what. There's the Bengalos, by the way, we saw floating in that area. It's
the trapped ones.
The trapped Bengalos that are hungry for fresh meat from foiled drops.
Not going to be any drops this day.
Yeah.
By the way, this actually plays well against Mind specifically because Mind is actually just known as a brainy Terran, an intelligent Terran. So he just, like, for instance, his 3rd CC, that only makes sense because he's like, I know how you should play. But like Tasis and I were talking about, the way that you probably should not play is carriers because it's just all open ground. Like the Goliaths are going to be able to chase those down pretty easily. The areas are wide enough.
I want to go back to something we were talking about earlier because I think we might have confused some people because we said it's not a carrier map, but usually that's like, okay, so you went for like solid, you know, getting your 4th base, you're getting your Stargate up, you know, and I detect it, and then they manage to hold it. But this is like sort of like a form of a cheese almost.
Yeah.
Just trying
it is. It is a cheese. Okay, he finally scans it, and he scans it when the first 2 carriers are popping.
So there's still a chance.
There's still time for him. Like he can still absolutely win this game, but. You know, it is going to get a little bit messy, a little bit tricky, just because playing against carriers can be tough if your opponent micros them well and is kind of annoying with them. Looks like he's going to send them immediately across the map.
Now, wait, I'm sorry, he has only 2 though, right? That's
yes.
not 4. Okay.
2.
Yeah, just double checking. I got confused. There's 2 Dragoons moving at the bottom of the map. I thought those were 2 other carriers, just something weird like that. By the way, seems like Protoss might have some ambitions on expanding to the bottom center, which actually can be quite good with carriers because you can kind of hit the Terrans natural and still defend an expansion if that's what he decides to do.
Now, 2 carriers is not really all that scary.
2 carriers, actually, you just make turrets and they have to leave.
Yeah, like...
In fact, I actually think this is not going to work anymore, I don't think. If Terran is worth his weight in anything, he should be okay.
It can still be a little bit difficult to play against carriers, right? Like, and he's getting a lot of bases. If he just goes into Zealot legs...
This is where you're seeing the bias of me and Artosis, where I'm like, when I try this, it sometimes doesn't work, and then Artosis is like, when I see this, sometimes I still die.
Yeah, you can still die to this as Terran. And, in fact, I think that there's a good chance that he will. Like, his upgrades are good. This is what he's going to have to rely on to win this game. He really got his 2-1 going very, very, very early, so that's good. But, yeah, we'll see how many carriers he ends up making because there's a lot of tricks with this. Like, first off, once you get to a certain number of carriers, as long as you have cliffs that you're near, it takes
kill everything.
forever to kill the carriers with Goliaths, right? Like, you have to kind of kill interceptors and bleed them of minerals a lot of the time.
Right.
But if he just adds a ton of gateways, gets Zealot legs, you cut a lot of your other units. Like you were saying, you make a lot of Goliaths as soon as you see this. But that means your Zealots can get to the siege tanks more quickly. And Goliaths alone are so bad against gateway units. They are just so awful.
You basically just don't want to have them. Excuse me. You just don't want to have them. Now, one thing to note is that Goliaths in an open field will beat carriers. You just run underneath them. If you have enough of them, you win very handily. But what Artos is saying is correct, is that if they overman Goliaths and you just switch into ground, like Zealots with legs and Dragoons, it's really problematic for the Terran to deal with. You know, it's very, very hard.
Like, look at this little group of anti-air. The Protoss units are right near here. So if he engages those, he's going to lose a ton of Goliaths for free. Okay, only sends a couple Marines, so that's good. Sees where those carriers are, that's good as well. But
sometimes that's half the battle, is finding out where that is so you know how to respond. Yes. Now, even though carriers can be very daunting, especially if you're new to the game and you encounter them, where you find out how powerful they are, enough turrets can actually just drive out carriers. The interceptors just die.
Yeah, until they hit like 10 carriers, if you have a bunch of turrets, it's fine. And that's actually what he's done too. He's turreted up his main a lot, which makes perfect sense because the amount of time it would take him to walk back in his main to save it would be way too long. That'd be very tough.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty bad Achilles heel there for the Terran. So he's going to try to do a push where he's going to rotate through the map from bottom to left all the way to the upper left, wiping out all these bases. And you know, this Terran army, you got to respect it. It's very heavily upgraded.
Yeah,
here come those carriers now.
Look at how many charge lots he has. He's starting to get a real decent number here. If he can save this base, if he kills this army, he's going to win the game. Lazy is. Like, all he needs to do is kill this one army one time. This is so Goliath heavy. He's actually looking like he's going to counterattack. That's interesting.
I suppose he can probably run up here and take out the natural or something. No, actually, I don't know why he's countering. That is weird.
Yeah, I feel like he should have just massed and killed that army, because if you kill that one time, I feel like that's just a victory. But now he's like basically lost a base. What has he done with this run around?
He has done nothing. He has achieved absolutely nothing with this.
He's making the Terran units kind of turn around, but that doesn't even really matter because he wants to rally in more units anyways to it.
Oh, Lazy's having a bad day here, man. And let's see though. Let's see if he can't take him on here.
Ooh, this army's getting really good, man. 2-1 upgrades and everything.
Again, there are not really a lot of vultures with this army.
No.
Sometimes with the carriers, you actually want to target down the tanks.
Yes.
Like we see here.
Very, very true. You work down that siege tank count, that's the most gas-heavy unit right there. You don't want to just be picking off Goliaths. That's like what they're kind of spamming out. Okay, picks off one there, but most of the ground army dies. Ooh, this is a nice little group of Zealots killing some of the reinforcing units.
Protoss is now retreating. Mind has not taken that upper right base yet. That being said, Protoss is still on even bases to the Terran. I think he messed up when he went to the upper right. I think you're 100% correct, Artos. That just seemed like a kind of weird, almost like a freak-out move.
Yeah, and the reinforcement, like, if he had the entire army and just waited, like, he can still even lose that base. But if he kills that army, like those 6 siege tanks that are there and then all those Goliaths, to remake that, it's just always a true thing that we talk about. Like, you lose your siege tanks, that's like the worst thing ever.
I want to point out what we just saw there. We saw him attack the gateway, and some people were like, "Oh, what is he doing?" When you first get a carrier out, and you start the very first time when you have all your interceptors ready and you fire, they come out one by one. It's really weird.
You can make the intercept. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
please.
but if you attack. But after that attack, all the interceptors come out at once. So a lot of times you'll see a Protoss player fire on the gateways to get them all. You have to
basically the interceptors fly underneath the carrier a lot of the time too. So yeah, it's a really smart move that he does right there. He knows how to make those carriers. There's actually like an upgrade to make them launch quicker and stuff. It's like they really do launch quite slow.
Is there? Why do I not know that? I guess I haven't played it so long. I don't think so.
Crazy?
I don't think that's correct. There's an upgrade that gives you more.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't remember this correctly. Anyways.
But this push is coming down here for Terran in the center left. And he needs to have enough on the ground here. Now he has to target down these tanks. He's doing a great job. The Goliaths cannot hold their own against Dragoons as long as the Dragoons stay out of range of the tanks. Storm is another great thing to have along with this if you can use it. Because you just storm the Goliaths like they're Hydralisks.
You're so right about that. If you have Storm, the Goliaths just completely evaporate.
And I want to point out the difference here between Mine versus Flash. If Flash is doing this, I think he would have handled this so well he would have crushed him. But you can see Mine's having a hard time. And I think you might be right, Artosis. I think that he might have enough Lazy Well to actually win this game. He's got those Templars there.
But there is a 4th base for Mine, so if he really keeps his macro up... Oh, moves like that are amazing.
Boom. Takes out that one
Barely snaps that carrier now.
Gotta be really careful. And notice that Mine's remaking enough Vultures here. He can actually dive on some of these Templars. Good control by Lazy. Drives that back out. Now the Nexus is done, although Terran can't quite kill it yet. But Terran has got a pretty good foothold here on this map.
We're going to be able to erase this expansion once again. And Lazy is kind of walking north. I want him to kill this army, though. This is like such an important thing about playing against Terran. If you can kill an entire army and they kind of have to start over, you have to be very careful with Terran to have the right unit balance. And what he's doing is he's running in for a counterattack, but that makes the army come back, but then he also gets that free reinforcement, right?
Right.
So his army is just bigger and bigger and bigger. The smallest his army is going to be is the one that's over and just killed his 4th base again.
These Templars are also very susceptible to Vultures sniping them.
Yes.
Mine is going to try to box in this this base over, or this army over here. And now with these Templars being gunned down, I think Lazy may have thrown this game.
Yeah, I think that this game was very winnable for Lazy, or at least it could have been a lot closer. I mean, Mine definitely played well, but I think that these unit movements, these kind of half-assed counterattacks that Lazy was doing, just were not the way to win this game.
And especially if Terran gets too much of the map, as strong as carriers might be, they can't run everywhere and kill everything.
Oh, they're very slow.
They're very, very slow. I see we have some DTs incorporated in here. Sometimes, if you run through the Terran bases and take out all their CCs or command centers, you can then win with DTs. But, yeah, I mean, this looks pretty straightforward. He's got some upgrades on his interceptors. Let's see. Is there enough over here? Right now, Lazy has to win this fight. I'm not sure if he can do it.
He might wipe the Goliaths just barely here.
It's kind of a weird tightrope walk over here for the Protoss and the Terran, because even if you take out all their Goliaths, suddenly then Terran loses everything. If you take out all their tanks, suddenly, as long as Protoss has enough on the ground, then Terran loses everything again. It's kind of crazy.
He's doing some really good micro right here. This is really well done by Lazy.
This takes a lot of effort on the Protoss' part to control this right.
He cannot bring his army forward, though. There's enough siege tanks there that it will just not pay off at all. If he gets a big round of Zealots, he could attack in with that then, but these Dragoons have to stay back.
Behind this, Mind is... Oop, had a little lag spike.
There was a disconnect.
I know,
right
it's like, wow.
Oh my god.
We can resume from replay and remastered, right? Oh, Lazy just taps out.
I don't
GG.
think so. Fairly certain you cannot, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. My hand's still broken, so I can't play. I'm chalking this all up to you, Artosis.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever. Well, look, that's the result we sort of anticipated with Mind.
I like what Lazy decided to do, like the 2-base carrier. Like, he got a little bit lucky there, even with the scans, and it was something made to catch Mind off guard. I think I think that he could have won this game, but just did not execute it quite properly.
All right, Mind wins that game, and that will be bringing us now to our last game, a rematch, a TVT, Mind versus Rush. I look forward to that, Artosis. It's going to be, let's keep in mind also, Rush beat Mind the first time they played.
Yeah. And he played really, really well to do it. But the next map going to be Fighting Spirit, so as basic as you can get.
We are going to a short break. We come back, the last game of the night here at the ASL.
김진수 선수를 모시고 이 얘기 한번 나눠보도록 하겠습니다. 네! 광고를 하시잖아요, 퓨마 오늘. 네, 이거 좀 보여드리겠습니다. 오, 자 여러분 오늘 이거 드립니다.
이거예요.
네. 만지지만 내 거다. 벌써부터 지금 김신욱 형님 별명이 뭔지 아세요?
뭐예요? 베가사비?
아우!
얼굴로 웃기게 없잖아요.
김진수 화이팅! 퓨마 화이팅!
저기요, 우리 아빠 좀 찾아주세요. 저기요, 우리 아빠 좀 찾아주세요. 아빠, 이제 나와도 돼.
For Halloween 2, he's back.
왜 이렇게 X 생겼냐?
가슴 짱네.
게임 쓰레기처럼 하네.
니다 같은
칼로 죽여버리고 싶다. 사람이 많이 부정적으로 변하더라고요.
사람을 마주치기가 좀 무섭고
어디론가 숨고 싶었고
정말 죽고 싶죠.
여자로서 굉장히 수치심이 느껴졌고
밥도 잘 못 먹고 잠도 잘 못 잤어요.
당신이 작성한 한 줄의 악성 댓글 누군가에겐 평생 상처가 됩니다.
카차, 카차, 카차. 카카오 닙스차. 후디스 카카오 닙스차.
뭐 마시지? 좀 가볍고 몸에 좋은 거 없나? 어? 새로 나온 카카오 닙스차. 어때? 우와!
카차, 카차, 카차. 카카오 닙스차. 카차, 카차, 카차. 카카오 닙스차. 카차, 카차, 카차. 카카오 닙스차.
한 번 맛보면 이 매력에 쏙 빠질걸?
건강함에 쏙 빠지다. 후디스 카카오 닙스차.
날카로운 면도날이 이중 윤활 밴드를 만나다 시원함까지 더해진 당신의 면도. 쿨링을 더한 프로실드 7로 당신의 면도를 부드럽고 시원하게. 질레트 프로실드 7, 남자를 위한 최상의 선택.
끝없는 악몽의 시작. 블러드시티 에버랜드.
Welcome back, boys and girls. This is the ASL, the last game here of the night. We have 3 more days of this phase of the tournament next week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And by the way, the Tuesday broadcast starts at 5 p.m. KST instead of 7 p.m. KST. Write it down. Put it in your notepad, mark it in your calendar. Maybe write it on the back of your hand if you're one of those people that doesn't bathe. You'll see that note later on.
Or you could be one of those tattoo people and just get it tattooed there.
Yeah.
That would be like pretty temporary, but hey man, there's people who get tattoos of their high school girlfriends on them. So.
Yeah, get it tattooed on the inside of your right ankle so that every time you cross your legs this week, you're like, oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah. And then afterwards, it's like you keep tuning in 2 hours early to ASL.
Then you're like, well, what's this tattoo doing here? You know, and you're like, don't worry, get a cool Smurf tattoo over that. You'll never regret it.
That's perfect.
We're going to go into the final cast. The final game, I should say, not the final cast. I'm cast this game for life, bitches. It's going to be on
It could still be the final cast, though, just to get real dark for a moment. You never know. Life is fragile.
We might be hit by a meteor, and we're just like, well, we're all dead. There goes all of our history as a species.
Yeah.
Could happen. Chances are slimmer. And then we get the cast is forever.
Okay.
This is Fighting Spirit, guys. Let's get ready for Mind versus Rush.
KT Giga Internet, ASL Season 4.
Gotta make sure I go. I was wrong, I can tell, but the heart can be blind and frozen. Now I live with the pain every night, every day.
It's a bomb! Cut the green wire, Tosis. You saved us. We're both sick, by the way.
Yeah. I don't like it. Mind is the orange Darren.
Artosis. His back has scoliosis. Artosis. You are my favorite caster.
Thank you.
How do you feel? See, we can't really do hype casting. We can't be like two sick, gross guys.
Well, we're doing fine.
We have little booger, little
There's some funny stuff going on.
We have Kleenexes all wadded up on the table, blowing our nose.
A little coldy cold.
Yeah.
Luckily, you have next 2 days off.
We have more than that off, don't we?
Not me. On Friday, my family comes home, so I'll probably be expected to do things.
Yeah. Okay, I was like, I'm really glad you said that. I might have not come down to the studio on on Friday. You're gonna come up and see us in our neck of the woods of Soul Artosis before the family comes down here. You gotta rest.
Well, I gotta rest. If I feel better, I will perhaps think about going up, which is mostly unknown.
Oh, little Tosis. I like that you're sick and I'm sick, but somehow you're like just a little bit sicker than me. Like I'm telling myself that's because like I'm stronger than you. Like I'm like a little bit.
I think it's because I just always outperform you, basically. Whether it's sickness, whether it's health.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Your wavelengths are just a little bit higher.
Yeah.
In everything you do.
I'm just like more. It's like you got Tasis, but then you got more over here.
If I was mild sauce, you would be the extra spicy.
Yeah.
Or if I was mild sauce, you'd be the extra bland. You'd even be the extra tasteless. That's how good you are.
I would not even be sauce at that point.
Yeah.
If you were ranch, I would be mayonnaise.
Yeah, there you go.
Ranch is gross.
We got a barracks out here on the map for Mind. Sometimes Terrans like to scout with that barracks right away in GVT.
Yeah. This is a great.
In case you're wondering why that is.
It's a great forward position. Like you make 1 to 2 Marines off of it generally, and you could pressure with those. Like if he sees a CC first or something, it's a possibility. But the Rax is further out, so you get to scout with it better.
You remember the first time somebody scouted you with the barracks? You're like, what is this guy doing? I remember that. I'm like, what is this guy doing? Is he an idiot? I'm like, that can't be good. That's a barracks. And then I'm like trying to kill it with like my Marines. I'm shooting at it. And I'm like, oh my God, he just saw everything I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Must have been a long time
Then I
ago.
started doing it. Oh, this is like, first few months of the game being out. I started doing it.
Yeah.
People would say, what are you doing, man? You're so bad. Not responding, floating over their base.
Yeah, actually, I played a TVT the other day, and it was like, it was a pretty good game on Fighting Spirit, actually. And as I started to get ahead, to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm going to win this, out of nowhere, like a fire bat, I see a fire bat on the map, and I typed to him, why do you have a fire bat? And he left the game. But Firebat is literally the worst unit in this matchup. SCVs are better fighting units.
Oh yeah. There's never
just
a real
to make
moment
that clear.
to get a Firebat.
Never, ever.
And TVT, by the way. Yeah. TVZ, that's another story.
Yeah, they're really good in that matchup.
I've noticed this because I was watching your stream today. I'm not chatting usually that much in your stream because it's just too hard to type with one hand.
Yeah, and you're illiterate, but that's fine.
Yeah. I noticed in TVP, you're making a medic.
Yes.
Tell us about that. I kind of like it.
Okay, so actually I directly stole the one medic from Scan. I was watching some of Scan's stream. He's quite a good streamer, Korean player who has quite good English and stuff. And so the thing is, you always just kind of bring your Marines with your attack and all, right? And you generally get an academy. That's like, it's very in vogue right now to get your academy early. And if you just add one medic, it actually adds quite a bit of survivability to. Normally you bring 1 to 2 SCVs with you, right, to build a turret, repair a tank, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And you normally have 4 Marines, 5 Marines, whatever it is. It's some amount of Marines live through the initial pressure. So the medic just kind of like brings their survivability up quite a bit. It's definitely worth the 50 mineral, 25 gas.
You don't get optic flare or anything like that, do you?
I did one game to show off.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, that's probably not that good.
No, it's not good. The upgrade actually takes so long. He is so cute. Pro gamer of tomorrow. But I did get it one game and I blinded a bunch of observers because my Marines died. And I'm like, well, I mean, I see these observers over my tanks. I'm just going to get it.
Right.
And I already knew I had won the game, so I was just kind of...
Ooh, look at this. Rush has already gotten in here. He's taking out some SCVs. Meanwhile, we have somewhat of a push over here at the actual expansion, although you can see he's erring on the side of caution here. I guess that Vulture was killed off.
A funny thing to see here, those 2 Marines in the back are actually adding huge amounts of damage right now. Marines put out normal damage, so that's pretty significant there.
Mine's going to actually try to push this down. You got to be careful. Vultures alone sometimes won't cut it.
Yeah, it's... Ooh, you can't let that happen. You can't let that happen. Oh, my God. Like, if you have the Vulture advantage, the best thing to do is to kill their Vultures with your Vultures, and then you can actually bring some SCVs to help battle the tank at that point.
Right.
But this is kind of crazy that Mind is just, like, poking it this hard with one tank.
Okay, so the
Ooh.
Very good catch there by Rush.
Yeah, seriously.
The problem is that
really
the tank can take on a lot of Vultures.
Yes,
if the SCVs are pulled, you just run away.
Like, once you get a large amount of Vultures, this is why he keeps attacking. Because he wants the Vultures to keep attacking his tank. Because if he gets a big number... Oh, that was a good mine right there. If you get a big number of Vultures, they actually wreck the tank. But, like, when you're fighting 2-3 against a tank, no, it's really bad.
It takes forever to kill. You need Vultures in overwhelming numbers. Kind of a funny moment there. He stands his ground. Now, over here we see Rush adding additional factories. I believe it's still just 2 factory right now for Mind. Although, actually, maybe on the minimap he has a 3rd one. I'm not sure. All right, Joe, you're better at just reading the minimap. Is it just still 2 factories or is it 3?
3 factories over there for Mind.
Okay.
And 4 facts very soon for Rush. So
the Vultures are spilling out again here for Rush. Rush is interested in trying to mine up this map. It's kind of awkward because they both have mines everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, your enemy Vultures are not set off by mines, nor are SCVs. They're considered hovering units.
Yes. So are
whereas
Archons.
A tank, yes, an Archon, believe it or not. And then tanks, Marines, Goliaths, they do set off mines.
Yes, yeah. Okay, the only hovering units are Workers, Vultures, and Archons.
Whoa. Oh my God, that actually went off.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
I'm gonna come in and snipe that. Totally worth, by the way. Totally worth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Vultures, they're very, very strong in the early and mid game in TVT. They lay the mines down. They're super fast. They can deal a lot of economic damage if you're not careful. They buffer for siege tanks. That's the main part, right?
Right.
But later on, they don't scale well and you need to get rid of them. Like, when we're talking maxed armies, Vultures are just garbage. They are trash tasteless. Oh my God, max armies TVT, everything but fire bats will beat Vultures at that point.
Okay, he's got to be careful here. If you stack mines up enough, as fast as Terran units fire, one of the mines can end up popping out and connecting. Mine is once again going for the jugular here with a really nice push.
He doesn't have a big enough army to actually do this. Like, the fact that he's added Goliaths is kind of interesting. He's also down a factory this entire time. Or not the entire time, but more recently. Okay. Vulture tank really dominates the ground in the mid-game. Later on, the Goliaths, of course, can be very, very strong, but we're still at pretty low supplies.
Now, going around with these Vultures, if he gets an interception here, maybe goes inside of the main, starts to kill off Workers, that's going to be big damage.
Yeah.
I mean, there's units rallying out, but certainly not at a rate that's a real threat. But it seems like when that happened back there, he got hit by that siege tank range. He thought, if I throw these away, I'm just going to lose the game.
He's not sure exactly what's in there. So, yeah, keeping these alive is more valuable at the moment than trying to get in and get any damage done. Really interesting again. That Mind is taking the 6 o'clock base. Of course, this is kind of pushable, but Mind is trying to really control this area. Ooh, just goes barely too close there.
Okay, takes on that 1 tank. He might be able to cut off Rush from taking his own 3rd if he can push forward further.
Mind is doing a good job controlling this area with these siege tanks.
Mind, I mean, he stays true to his name. He's a very brainy player. I love how he approaches this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right, too, though. That bottom base is definitely Princess droppable. And you know drops are eventually going to become a factor in a TVT.
Eventually they will. It looks like Rush might actually be going for a Wraith switch here, which could make some sense. You know, there's only this single Goliath out, and a lot of times you won't even have that. Like, you notice how Rush doesn't have a Goliath. He's like, no, we're not going to play that game. If a Wraith flies in, that's fine. You're going to, you know, you have time. A Wraith isn't going to kill tanks.
Not an easy way for, excuse me, sorry. Not an easy way for Rush to, Rush can't really have his left base get hit here because there's so many vultures out on the map. Unless Mind overwhelms him, and I think at this point in time, Rush has a decent enough vulture count that it's probably not going to be a factor.
Yeah. And once you start hitting these tank counts that they have right now, like these spreads are really, really good. Vultures, they can still be used to help bust, but they aren't really going to bust alone. You can't just run your vultures up to these giant tank lines and kill them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, even with fantastic mines, you're generally not going to trade too well there.
So we're setting up that TVT no man's land, which is very, very common in this matchup. Go ahead.
I want to point out that our observer here keeps showing where those starports are. That's so intentional. He spread 3 starports that can't be seen in the same scans. A lot of times you put your same tech buildings in the same area so that it's easier to produce.
Like you make all your carriers in one spot, because if you spot one Stargate, then you already know what's coming on.
But with Wraiths and TVT, 1 starport is way different from 2, which is way different from 3.
Exactly.
They all are, like, require a different level of readiness. Like, 1 starport Wraith, you're not really afraid of. Just make a couple Goliaths a turret. 2 starport Wraith, okay, that's kind of serious. He's going to try to catch your tanks. 3 starport Wraith is like, oh, dude, you got to start playing the game differently now. So the fact that he has spread those so well, this is really good. Like, this is a very intelligent play by Mind.
Now, here comes a drop, but it looks like the Wraith would end up intercepting this perfectly. So he's ended up showing the Wraith out here now. Definitely wants to get rid of that dropship first.
Yeah, this was worth it by Mind, just to see how many Wraiths there are already.
Yeah.
This throws him off a little bit, right? You see
I don't
5.
think there's turrets out here yet.
Yeah.
So this is actually pretty bad, man. He's going to get this 1 Goliath. But I think he should just go right for the tanks, man.
I agree with you on that.
I think this is actually a misplay here. It's like, get those tanks like yesterday.
Well, it's super cool. Like, if you start going after tanks, sometimes they'll unsiege and run away, and then you can move up with your tanks. You can chase them right down.
He needs to get this turret, though, over here. Okay, here we go. He's moving in.
Yeah, a bunch of those tanks were unsieged. His Wraith's adding a lot of damage here as well. So many tanks actually starting to get taken out.
Is Mind going to be completely punted back here? It seems like it could be the case, especially with these angles where he can actually hit those tanks with his own Wraiths, and even driving the barracks away. Great plays here. However, he hasn't broken them yet. The supplies are basically the same.
Yeah. This was a good move, though. Like, you know, he's giving himself a chance to make a big play, and maybe that wasn't the biggest play. He ended up losing quite a few tanks, too. Mind is holding pretty tight. But, you know, I really got to appreciate the fact that he's making moves like that. It's not like it got him behind. It was, like, kind of even.
As you can see now, the game continues on with Rush. I mean, look, that was a good little fight, and I think he definitely took that, but he didn't mind. It did not end up giving up really any ground that mattered. I mean, he just had to move his siege line back just slightly. Behind this, Mind is making his own Valkyries, and he may end up blindsiding the Wraiths here of Rush, which could turn this game upside down as well.
Yeah, if you overmake those Wraiths, sometimes Valks can kill them.
Okay, great targeting here. And I don't know, man. Mind's just going to lose all these tanks. This is really bad.
Yeah. Some real value occurring.
Okay, so he has to always back away if there's any Goliaths at all. You need, like, a comical amount of Wraiths to ever actually win a fight against Goliaths.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty crazy. The ground attack of Wraiths is so weak.
It's kind of a funny unit because it's very good versus air, and it can hit ground, but its air to ground is not strong. Like, it's not like I don't know, like a Guardian or something where you just see things get obliterated underneath it.
Really, yeah, you're very right. Only capital ships do real damage against ground, very much unlike StarCraft 2, where you got things like Oracles and Banshees.
Yeah.
Here, it's like, no, the Wraiths, this is a very tactical unit. And, like, the thing is that the metagame has changed in StarCraft 1, and, like, you actually can't go mass Wraiths late game. It's kind of wild, but there are situations where you can use it.
You can also sometimes respond to, like, somebody making carriers by sneaking your own Wraiths, or sometimes they're making battle cruisers and you sneak out your own Wraiths. But it's pretty tricky to actually pull off.
By the way, this top spot, the 12 o'clock position here, that gas expand, that could become the most important area on the map if this continues to get super cut in half.
Also, it should be noted that the center area right now technically goes to mine, and that's another area.
Yes.
It may, maybe not, but may become a big factor. But I think you're right, more likely the top center.
Yeah, like, I don't expect any mining to occur in that center area, but even having those extra inches is a really big deal in TVT. That's something that you have to actually account for. If you have more of the map, even if there's not necessarily resources there, it gives you a better offensive position.
Here we go. This is a really bad move here by Rush. He's already inside here. The Valkyries are going to see just how fast Wraiths can die. To Valkyries, goodbye. And now air dominance goes to mine.
And so this 12 o'clock base we need to talk about a little bit. He's already taken 6, and if you cut a map in TVT, if one person ends up with one more gas expand, they will almost always win.
Right.
It's a super important part. Like, he doesn't need to take this base right now, Rush doesn't, but he needs to make sure that it doesn't get turtled so hard that he can never take it.
Okay, he's coming in here, and he's going to take out these dropships, which is actually quite a big deal, because dropships, as we've seen in plenty of the other TVTs that we've casted out here, actually play a huge role in trying to break certain lines of defense and force your army, or your opponent's army, to reposition. I mean, if you can see siege tanks up on the siege ground in siege mode, oh, buddy, it's going to be so hard to break. Good targeting, too, hitting the tanks in the back.
Super good move here by Rush to take this area. Neither player has +2 yet, so definitely these tanks still can do battle.
Yeah, once you have +2, tanks kill each other in 2 siege tank siege shots instead of 3.
Yeah.
So that's the real big moment where the game can be turned on its head.
It's a gigantic difference.
Crazy.
But, okay, so this map, I don't expect it to turn into BC versus BC because the siege line is so long that if you give off too much supply, that even with +2 attack on your tanks, your opponent might be able to actually push through with ground units. So, like this, the game is definitely going to go long, though. Because Rush taking that base, that's like, the map is now perfectly split. There is technically that middle base that you're talking about, but I don't know if I've ever seen people actually mine from there for any extended period of time.
Yeah, in almost any matchup, it's not like the realistic base to take, but it's there. So everything mines out. It does become a fight in the middle here.
You see that +2 finished? Oh my god, he's losing a lot of tanks, even to just 3 there. He lost like 5 tanks attacking into 3 tanks.
And this is sort of an anti-timing here for Rush, because if mine has a really well-placed siege army, everything's going to be killed off. And we see Rush trying to break the top, but I just don't see the siege tank line being busted, man. +2 is done for mine, and that has to be respected.
And the air unit's just kind of coming up and spotting for the time being. The Valkyries don't really have a lot of value right now. Kind of funny to see some vultures added back in. They become much less useful at this point. Like when you're hitting these max supplies, as I say, like, I mean, it's okay to have some mines out or something. Sometimes you can scout with them or kill some SCVs, but they just do not match up against the higher tech mech units.
Okay, we got a drop coming up here. Mine is going to attempt to breach this northern location. Again, this is the most important location on the map based on how everybody's been fighting. Rush now is going to have to give up, have to give up this location. Meanwhile, as that action is going on, Mine sees this as an opportunity to try to break through this area of siege tanks over here. Mine, though, does seem to have just barely enough that it can slow this down.
Yeah. That is a really important thing here. If he can slow it down, he can get more mech units up here, stop the push eventually. And the thing is, he's the one that's killing a base. It's not Rush. Rush is taking a ton of ground right now, though. So if he still plays like kind of patiently, he doesn't overdo it, he can clear that 12 o'clock base and retake it.
Okay. As this game continues on, it's been Mind that's reclaimed that top base. He's not mining from it yet, so he's not sapping any of those valuable resources he needs from that. But there's a lot going on here. This is a crazy TVT.
It is.
This is why this is such a vexing mirror matchup. Most mirror matchups can't get to a point of this much complexity. Not to say that this is the other matchups are not difficult, but this is sort of a very crazy, unique RTS mirror matchup.
Yeah, TVT StarCraft 1, it gets so positional, and like there are some really distinct tech switches that can occur as well. But right now, it looks like it's just a giant drop from Rush, doing the same thing that Mind had just done to him at 12 o'clock.
Now, this is actually pretty big, because if he can hold this area, he can eventually scoot his way into the main. And then Mind, even though Mind's denied Rush from taking the top center, Rush will have stopped Mind from even utilizing the upper right, really.
Well, Mind sieges up at least a little bit there. Losing that base is really painful, but now they're on the same amount of bases. Both of them maxed out.
Mind with slightly more minerals banked up for a maxed out player, which can be pretty important for how many more tanks you can remake after a fight. Here comes a big drop on top of these siege tanks in the front here for Rush.
Oh boy, this is not working out for Mind right now. That drop from Rush to reinforce, sieging up in the back there will hold this area. Actually, Mind did all right with that.
I will say, though, this is a real highlight of how different players can dominate in different eras. If this was Mind 8 years ago, we would expect him to win no matter what.
Yeah.
But the truth is, it seems like Rush may be playing slightly better.
Yeah, I like Rush's play.
I do not want to be, for our viewers and for us as commentators to be too trapped in the past. Like, there are new players who are up and coming and dominating, and this seems to be one of those moments here.
Well, he definitely showed a better game against Mind the first time.
Yeah.
And this game so far, it's been pretty nice and even. I've liked a lot of Rush's moves better. I guess Mind retaking that 12 o'clock was really fancy, but like the fact that he tried to get into the 3-port Wraith, it didn't really truly work out, but like moves like that are fantastic. He's countered defensive dropping here against these pushes as well, which is nice. Ooh, that one might have been a little
close. I don't know about that drop there, but I guess he just wants to try to get some control over here in the center of the map, or Mind's going to have a lot of mobility. By the way, Mind, if he doesn't address that position in the natural of the upper right, he's going to lose this game.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, there's just nothing that he can do right now.
But he's holding the same position at 12, where it's like it's basically the same exact situation. Those are the bases that aren't taken on this map.
They basically both captured each other's key locations, but it's in such a position where they can't expand there and take advantage of it, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, it's like both of them are kind of behind enemy lines, but with enough that it's too annoying to break. Okay, Rush making a gigantic move forward here. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Huge siege up here from Mind.
Looks like Mind will be able to hold this position, but can't go any further. They both have enough Goliaths. It's sort of unwise to try to drop your tanks over there.
Yes, and that also, when you see that many Goliaths that are just keep on coming out, you know you can't really switch into Mass Wraith at that point.
Right, right. So a lot of this has just been attention focused on the top center of the map. They're trying to do any damage. In fact, I don't think Mind should be doing this.
No.
I think this is actually Mind is about to give up a very important location.
Yeah, I agree with you a quadrillion%. Now, I feel like what he should have done is made the most like hard to approach area at 12. Just make it so that it's too much of a headache to break.
Yeah, exactly. I think that this now Mind may or Rush may be confused and not realize those are the same units that are in the top center. But
well, he's floating his command there right now. I see it on the mini-map. So Rush is like, oh, sick, you move those units, thank you.
Yeah, big mistake by you there.
Yeah. +3 attack Goliath, so you don't want to drop on top of those. 4 tanks with +2. It's like, yeah, I feel like that was a big mistake, and now he just loses these.
Okay, easy peasy cleans house over here.
Rush is super happy with this, but notice how Rush is not moving his set of units that are in Mind's top natural.
Looks like Mind actually does bust the center location, though, and is reinforcing this. He might have a bigger punch coming up here if he can get a little bit further, but behind this, Rush just sieges up. It's this endless tangle of defense that he has to get through.
This one is a pretty crazy game.
Yeah, no kidding.
Ooh, Rush starting to take this location a little bit. He might not be able to mine from it quite yet, but at least getting some siege tanks up here, kind of claiming the area. Over time, when Mind starts not paying attention, he can easily take this base now. But Mind hasn't cleared that natural. This is a big issue right now. And that's going to be a very cost-efficient trade for Rush, no matter what. But look, mine did take the base. Sick.
Yeah, that was going to eventually happen here. He's going to have such an excess of minerals at this point in time. Might as well try to take something.
Dude, there's a gas in there on that side, too. Like, he can't take the other side, but that's fine. That's another gas base.
Okay, finally this is cleaned up over here by Mine. Now, keep in mind that Rush has been mining more of the map for longer in a funny way at the top. So having reclaimed that means he's going to have more minerals from that expansion for a while.
Well, yeah, well, don't forget Mine had the 6 o'clock for a long time as well. So this is still, like, pretty darn even. It's hard to say who's actually going to end up winning this game. Like, Mind has to retake that gas, and Rush has to retake 12, and then what will be the decider if both those things occur, and they both look likely to occur at this point, is that middle base, which almost never comes into this game in any matchup on this map, but in this particular one, with Mind having just a slightly further siege tank push, I mean, he is mining from it. I want to see him take that gas on it, though. I'm really surprised he's only taking minerals. Gas becomes a decider very often in this matchup.
Okay, big drops here by Mine. Mine actually is going to take the center of the map.
Ooh,
Rush has got his command center there at the top. I think SCVs are just now being transferred. Oh my god, here we go. Now those dropships are empty, right?
Yeah, those
they
are
have
empty.
to be empty.
Those are empty.
Okay. Crazy.
Wow.
It's such a big... I'm so glad we can zoom out in StarCraft Remastered. It makes it so much easier to digest what's happening.
Yeah.
Especially in TDT, which usually is a fight that takes up several computer screens.
Yes, very, very true about that. Now, Rush, he made turrets. I'm not sure how many tanks are at 12, but if he can hold on to that and then stifle this push, and like he'll still have a chance, but he's going to have to make a move because Mind has that center base. At the end of the day, like, even though you can be very cost efficient, if your opponent has an entire additional base, that is such a huge amount of cost efficiency you have to overcome that it's almost impossible.
Now the question is will he be able to Mind drop his army on this drop over here?
Oh my god.
Well, you know, losing that many dropships, we don't even know how much supply was in there, but we saw Mind plummet down to 163, so it had to be a decent amount.
Yeah.
Okay, Rush still has the top. Mind is mining from this base that's pretty fresh. So the freshest bases here are the top center and the natural of the upper right. They each have one. Now, Rush is not going to have access to the middle, it looks like, for a long time. So Mind should mine out that location in the middle on his side, but I don't know if it's going to be easy for him to get the other side. This is also just sort of an ugly base, right? It's like they're not mining that effectively from it.
It's true. So, like, Mind over time looks like he can take this.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of moves that can be made at this point. Like, there are weak points in these defenses, even though the tanks have ridiculous upgrades. 3-1 against 3-2 right now.
Looks like the attention of this game is seesawed to the bottom now. But because Mind is moving around with this large number of dropships, he can kind of come anywhere and respond in time. Now, I don't really see Rush pushing through that, right?
No, he can't push through that. I like that he came down here, though, just because this was neglected for so long. You got to assume that it had bare minimum units, and he was pretty right about that as well. But Mind has, like, just such a mobile force. Even though he lost all those dropships, he's been so on top of replacing them. Like, the fact that he can come in and Rush has a sick pre-sieged set of units attacking everything, and Mind is like, nope, I will have more at the end of this. It's very impressive.
Very exhausting TBT for these two guys. We're definitely ending on a high note here. Big drop coming up. I don't think that Rush can break this position, though, can he?
Ooh, I don't know. This is a lot of Goliaths.
Oh, excuse me. Those are Rush's Goliaths at the top. Okay, well, you know, we're seeing a lot of blows occur here, but it doesn't seem like anybody's making that much headway on the map. Now, with all that being said and done, it's 156 supply to 172. Mind seems to have more, slightly more income here.
Yeah, this middle base truly is paying off some.
To be honest, if I were Mind, I would have tried mining from the left side first. Because, you know, we've never seen any attempt to put a siege tank over here to deny that, right?
You are right.
So it's like he could have sucked up all those minerals and then gone over here to the right side.
Well, as long as he defends his center area and keeps his dropships kind of mobile right now so that he doesn't lose those top bases, Rush is like, I see him kind of circling right now. He's like, what can I do? How do I gain something here? And there isn't anything right now.
It's kind of funny because in TVT, so much of the map is important. It's not like in a lot of other matchups where you just need a base or a bridge. Any part of the map that you can secure and get some defenses there is useful.
It's actually
it really
very
is
true.
a big chessboard here.
Yeah. And like you see that Mind is going to end up probably winning this game because at the very beginning, his siege tank contain was slightly past the 50% way.
Right.
Right? And that's how he got this middle command center, which is, if you look at how much he's ahead, that kind of lines up with having that one additional base.
Oh my God, he's going to go straight for the main.
Oh, this is a
Rush
brave
with some
move.
very decisive play, but keep in mind, there are the dropships of Mind coming out here.
I do not know about this one.
I am totally unsure, guys.
Yeah, this is not going to end up working, I don't think,
Yeah,
right?
well, this
well,
is...
maybe. He got the siege up very quickly.
Yeah, he has all those tanks sieged up in that nook.
Yeah, as long as he spots everything coming in now, this becomes really hard to break. Wow.
He needs to keep scanning around there, making sure he can hit every single tank that's in range.
He needs to move those Goliaths back a bit as well. He only has 2 Goliaths left, so now suddenly drops can come on top of this. If you have 5-6 Goliaths there, though, trying to break it with dropships becomes very ungood.
Very ungood indeed, Artosis.
Extremely ungood.
Now, he's going to go back up and load up, and this is the whole plan, is he has Mind really preoccupied over here, trying to figure out how do I take care of this thing in my main. He's taking out all these depots, really being a nuisance here, as well as starports and stuff like that, and then Rush might come in here and drop in other locations, and Mind's just not going to be ready.
Where is Rush going to go next? Okay, he's going to go on top of this set of units.
Okay, he's dropping over here. Now, can Rush break the center location here? Mind seems to be pretty spread out. By the way, that drop in the main is supply blocking Mind.
Yeah.
Mind's at 136 supply, so taking out all the depots. Oh, wow. You know what? Rush is going to win this. Look at this. This is absolutely brilliant.
He might be able to. Like, Mind has to remake everything in the top main base now, and he's losing this base, which is really what was giving him an edge. If Rush can now take that, that's gigantic.
This is so huge. Now, he started to remake those depots. No, actually, you know what? Rush has got this. I can't
looks
imagine.
like it.
Yeah. If he even gets one drop over there, let's say in the upper right, he's fine.
Oh, is this a switch into starport?
I'm not sure.
It's not too bad a time for that, I think. Like, he can try that as a kind of last resort to suck that money down really quickly, because positionally he's been outplayed at this point. So Wraiths are something that could kind of ignore that a bit.
Okay, loading up over here. Again, time is very sensitive right now for Rush. He's got this lead, he's got the momentum, but he needs to get that closer. Those tanks, by the way, in the main, still there. In the main to mine, I mean.
Those are probably not going to go anywhere. And in fact, at this point, now that he's remaking everything, that's like lost supply for Rush. He'll have to move it eventually.
Okay, scans. We're trying to find some openings here. He does not want to lose that barracks either, because if he loses that... Oh, hold up. Here we go. He's going right over.
Oh, my God. He's crazy. He's so crazy. He lost 2 or 3 dropships doing this.
He does not care, Artosis. He's unloading everything right here.
Oh, my God. And there's enough Goliaths here that Wraiths won't do anything.
And keep in mind, there's a lot of depots that were just remade because of that initial fight that are now going to be under fire here. And having Goliaths right over those star parts, are you kidding me?
Such strong moves coming out of Rush here. This is so hard to break. Oh, my God. I really feel for Mind. This is like...
no. I mean, as a Brood player, you look at like a position like this that Rush has, and you just start to get a headache.
Yeah.
You know, it's just...
How do you break that? It's really dirty.
So he's starting to shave off those tanks on the edges here, but once again, it's Mind with a supply block. Rush may just be a better TVT player. He continues to macro up behind all this.
It seems like it, and Mind actually had advantages several times this game. I think he did do like a couple misplays. Like, for instance, at 12 o'clock, he could have made that harder to take. Oh, God, he's going to lose his base.
Uh-oh. Goliaths are hitting that. Okay, good pushing in here. But he just doesn't seem to quite have the high tank numbers that he needs. I wonder if he could take advantage of those tanks that are in the main, by the way, in the bottom right. Mind, once again, unsupply blocks himself. By the way, this main in the upper right was not being mined from as much as I thought it was. There's a lot more minerals than I had realized there.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sick today.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Rush is coming out now. He's trying to edge his way in here and shut down the upper right. Now, there's a sparse number of tanks. Mine's frantically trying to remake his army.
Yeah, it's really funny when you look at the money. It's like Rush is just like super macroing. If Mind rather could spend his money, he'd have as much supply.
Yeah, it's just that he's kind of unable to do that.
He's just nodding at me while I feverishly say random things. It's so funny.
I'm watching your brain try to process stuff, man. It's just
it's like, oh, jeez.
You could see.
You don't know what pity is until you've seen Taysus shake his head. Yeah. He's like nodding at me. He's trying to be supportive.
I'm watching your fever brain try to string together a sentence. Like, if he spends his money, he can have as much stuff as his opponent. And I'm like, yes.
It's true.
You're definitely
It ain't not true.
Yeah. Well, where does he go from here? Looks like he says, okay, I can clean up a few units for Stray. Okay, that was a little overkill.
Oh, that mine didn't hit. That would have been a sick mine. Okay, so he secures this middle base now. That's really, really important. At least it's secured from the bottom, it looks like.
Meanwhile, as this game moves onward, it's going to be tough. In a weird way, if mine can last for like 10 more minutes, Rush should run out of money. Like, he's gonna have used up all the resources on the map, and mine will have hung on for longer.
You are right about this. He didn't mine as much in that top right. That middle base though is like the trump card. If you can hold that, you can win. These dropship fleets are like too much, man. it's just
kind of crazy, isn't it?
So many. They don't even unload well when you have this
What you need is a bunch of Valkyries to just mow that down, Artosis. Yeah. That's how Taysus wins the ASL.
Great volleys right there, clearing a ton of siege tanks.
Yeah. No possible response from Rush in that moment.
Hey, Taysus, who do you want to win this game?
I'm fine with either of them. I mean, I like an underdog story, and Rush, once again, and two pretty impressive TVTs dominating mine. But, you know, mine is obviously a great guy, good name for the tournament.
Yeah.
Another scan down here.
Some great mining going on by Rush there in the center, really trying to catch up in that regard.
By the way, in case you're wondering why that command center isn't centered, when you have a game going on that's this high APM, it's more important he just gets it set up somewhere and tries to sap the resources from it. You're not trying to be at a steady macro phase like you are in a normal game.
Also, if you look at the mini-map, up and right of that command center is where he has the most heavy ground cover. So that command center there is much harder to hit. The bottom is actually owned by Mind. So he kind of has to have it. At this point, you don't even care if you're long distance mining. What you're trying to do is just gather more resources than your opponent. That's the important thing.
It is Rush with more dropships, correct?
Yes. Rush certainly if Mind has more dropships, he should, like, it doesn't even make sense. There's so many dropships for Rush.
What is the story with these dropships over here for Rush?
I do not know.
Seems like he has this lead. Mine is just eking back into being maxed out. The other thing is it's hard to tell where your opponent's supply is, especially at this phase of the game. You basically don't know because you've had so many exchanges. Okay. Big moment here. Oh,
God. This is crazy. This is not going to work for Rush, I don't think. That is so many tanks for Mind right now, but I guess most of them are on the bottom.
Well, he's going to have access into the bridge area.
Yeah.
Not a ton of Goliaths here, so he could probably drop on top of that.
It's true.
Is he just going to try to edge in? Okay, here we go. Keep in mind that I don't believe there were many factories in that main for mine.
No, so he only has starports there.
Yeah, so he has to use dropships to try to ferry an army over there. I think Rush made too many dropships, Artosis. I think he has like 12 dropships.
Yeah, it's a crazy amount. He can like fit his whole army into his dropships.
Yeah, I think he almost literally can.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Okay, so mineral check here. Rush is very close to mining out in the natural in the upper left. I believe he should be close to mining out in the top center. In the very center, I mean, minerals are sort of sparse there, but that should be cleaned up too. I think mine actually has the base that's going to last the longest, and that's the main in the upper right, I think.
Yeah, the main and the upright, I think you are right. That probably lasts the longest overall. I mean, that gas on the side that Rush is mining from, though, is super fresh.
That's a good point. He can definitely make more tanks, and tanks seem to reign supreme here as long as you just have that minimum number of Goliaths.
Yeah. I'll tell you, this is one of the very few times I'll ever say I wish that someone would make a nuke.
Oh, yeah.
You can actually force tanks on the siege sometimes with nukes. They're really expensive, though.
Well, it's also a map where there's enough locations to nuke that you might not get them all.
It's, I mean, it's so APM intensive to set that up that it's probably good that they aren't going for a nuke, but I'm just saying, like, some of these situations that I'm seeing, if you could force an unsiege in an area,
yeah,
you could take that area over so quickly.
I just don't know if Rush can bust this upper right location. But it's very hard. There's a lot of areas with turrets set up where you can't really get tanks to hit their turrets.
Yeah, I think you're right that he cannot bust it, but if he gets to mine out this center area, I think that that's enough that he can win.
I think you're right. Okay, Rush once again. He's going to go for it here. Does he have enough? And if he takes this location, is this location important enough? Oh, but mine has a response, so he's going to unload.
Oh, is he now? Or is he not going to unload, Tasis?
Oh,
why do you lie to the
looks
viewers?
like I was made the fool back there, Artosis.
Tasis is all telling you he's going to unload. People are like, oh, I can't wait for him to unload. No, all the medevacs
let the fans down, Artosis. That was a great play there. Now, I think the dropship number should be significantly lower here for mine.
Yeah, he doesn't have any more, I think.
Right? I think he only has one or two at most.
I hope those weren't full of units. I didn't look at
Did you see? Oh, wait, we got to go. Look, our observer just passed right over it.
Battle cruisers.
Cattle bruisers. That's right, Artie.
So, when the game gets this slow, battle cruisers do become the best thing. They have no upgrades, so he'll be using them only for Yamato. But he just lost a lot of stuff, so I don't think he can even keep them safe.
Yeah, I think he needs a critical number of them for this to work.
Yeah, it's like you can have your siege tanks there, and you sit behind your siege tanks, and then your Yamato tanks on the other side, and eventually you kill them all. The counter to that is to make your own battle cruisers, or to kill them quickly before they can gain value over time. But like, Yamato outranges everything, so over time you can kill the entire. If he had one battle cruiser and Rush went AFK, he could win the game with that. You know,
yeah, essentially.
You can Yamato everything eventually.
Okay, he's pulling SCVs here. Okay, he's, by the way, he's actually mined out. Mine did mine out first. I'm sorry, guys. It's kind of a weird, weird game here, and I think all Rush has to do is then hold off the remaining forces.
Yeah. I think that
very hard to call these.
Okay, it looks like he wants to attack maybe 12, but he needs to take out the middle. Like, if mine can kill the middle and just make that not mining, this game can go on for 1,000 years, and Yamato can actually win. You know,
I think the problem is that this is basically Russia's game to lose, right? By the way, neither of these guys have a lot in the, banked up, so.
Well, at this point, like, you can even start losing all your buildings and stuff. All that matters is this middle area. That's it.
You know, with the amount of gas that Rush has and the fact that he's not going to have almost any more minerals, I don't know how many minerals Ghosts cost, but is there, like, any...
They cost 25 minerals and 75 gas.
Would there be any validity to trying to get Ghosts with lockdown? Or is it just like, this is too close?
No, you couldn't do that.
Oh, my God, he's going over there. Oh, my God. This is madness, Artosis.
It is super
This is
madness.
crazy. And what about the cattle bruisers? Are they ready? Look out!
They have no upgrades. He has to be super careful with them.
Look how comically far those Goliath missiles
Those
fire.
two command centers look exactly the same.
I know.
They look exactly the same.
Ba-boom! Ba-bang! So...
Really, those command centers look the same.
Yeah.
Like, that's the pre-order skin that they have. Orange and red pre-order command centers are the same graphic. I want my money back!
He's... Okay, hold on a second.
I don't even know about this.
Well...
Like, is this area
I think the gas isn't mined out, so I think it actually is.
Well,
he didn't have any money, though.
He has no Goliaths on top of us now. They're all up north.
I think Rush has done it now.
Did he?
I think so.
Target the Goliaths.
Oh!
Yeah, the only reason that worked is that Mine sent so many units up top.
I don't know why he was like going to try to take out that location.
Yeah, that location didn't matter. The only thing that mattered, you can let him mine that top. Whoever has the center at the end should win. And he has battle cruisers, which means he should win extra. So this was just sending those units up. If he had all those Goliaths with his army still, like this doesn't matter so much. There's barely any minerals there.
Guys, this is welcome to late game TVT and Brood War. The entire map is about to be mined out. Some of you StarCraft 2 kids have probably never even seen this. You probably thought it was esports fan fiction, but it can happen. Oh, it can happen.
Yes, and in TVT sometimes it does. One thing to note is you never run fully out of gas. When the geyser becomes depleted, you mine 2 instead of 8. And I know as StarCraft 2 people are like, whoa, we only normally mine 5. 2, that's a lot. It's not really.
Hold on a second. Mine has this position. By the way, the supplies are similar, and since there are battle cruisers involved here, the Goliaths can't get premium surface damage onto the battle cruisers.
How many BCs does he have left?
I think he's only got 2, man.
That's not very many.
Keep in mind, a lot of the supply from Russia is made up of dropships. I just want to point that out.
You're really
this is
funny,
actually,
it's true.
It's something that had not fully occurred to me until the supplies got low
what
enough.
what is he doing? What is he unsieging for?
Oh my god!
Like, Mind is actually making some kind of bad moves. When you get to a point like this, like, yeah, maybe Russia's gonna go kill all your top right buildings, but you're not doing anything there except mining 2 gas at a time.
Give me an L! Bang boom! Alright. Now this is Warcraft 2. You start firing at the gold mine. Try to destroy that so you couldn't mine in it. But you can't kill the gold mine. There is no gold mine.
Dude, if you got an advantage and could have killed that as Rush, like in Warcraft, that would have been worth it.
Yeah. Okay, SCV's having seizures over here. They saw that Pokemon cartoon that didn't have the warning.
The Porygon episode.
That's right, the Porygon episode. But yeah, the fact that most of the supplies and dropships, I'm not, as long as Mine has a good position, I think he's okay. You ever think Rush is like a dropship hoarder? Like this is a problem?
Oh my god. One of those one of those dropships is full of old newspapers. Another one's full of
Hold up. Here it is. Okay, he's dropping right exactly in the center of the siege tank line. And that, okay, wow. The letter G, ladies and gentlemen. G for good. Or
okay, he's actually scanning everywhere. Yeah, he gives up. Wow. That was a crazy one.
That was insane.
All right, let's see how long that was. 47 minutes. And 8 seconds.
And 8 seconds. Wow. Cool. Look at, wow, like Rush is just thinking like, my God, what happened that game? And that's why Mine is regarded a little bit more highly than Rush's.
Yeah, Mind, I felt like he got advantages at times and stuff, and I think he made a lot of smart moves, like getting PCs at the end are kind of good. It puts a tiny clock on your opponent.
I thought you said getting PCs, but yeah, getting PCs, battle cruisers.
Yeah, but he definitely did make a few mistakes there as well, where I think he could have shut it out a little bit quicker, but that was like a fantastic game.
That was a treat, man. That was a real treat to cast. Well, we had a really long, dramatic game back there. Let's get this interview translated for you guys.
네, 엄청 긴 지금
Congratulations, Mine.
16강에 진출에 성공을
It was such a
했습니다.
late game.
정말 소감이 남다를 것 같은데요.
You advanced to the round of 16. That was probably so difficult. How do you
진짜
feel?
기분은 저 MSL 우승했을 때보다 더 기분 좋아요. 왜냐면 저는 이제 졌다고 생각하고
I feel almost happier than if I had won a championship, to be honest.
약간 진짜
really
몰두해서
type
지금
GG.
경기를 하신 것 같은데
I didn't even notice yet.
지금 1패 후에 약간 긴장이 많이 됐을 것 같아요. 처음 지금 최종전까지 오기에
After you lost the first match
됐을 것
against him,
같은데 어떤
you seem
각오로
really
임하셨나요?
distraught about it.
일단은 첫 경기는 영진이가 저보다 준비를 잘했더라고요.
After that match, how did you focus on your game?
저구전은 버리고 1경기만 연습을 했다고 그랬는데
제 빌드가 좀 준비 많이.
After that match, I really tried to focus down and try to prepare for a good TVT. So I had to really hunker down.
잡기가 쉽지 않을
Even
것 같아서 왠지 최종전 진짜 딱
패배전
나올 거라고 예상했는데 이런 게임이 나올
I thought, man, if I have to face off against Effort, this is going to be a tough match.
멋있었나요? 저는 진짜 와 이렇게 치열한 그 태태전이 있나? 진짜
I never expected a TVT. I knew I had TVT matches coming, but I never expected to have a TVT match like that.
뭐 먹는 것도 없는데 무슨 배틀을 뽑았습니까?
저도 모르게 갑자기 머릿속에 배틀이 지나갔어요.
There were no resources in the end of that game. How did you decide to produce battle cruisers?
진짜 저는 그냥 계속 그냥 졌다. 이번에 또 떨어졌네. 왜 떨어지지? 나 뭐하지? 계속 그냥 그 생각하고 있었어요.
In my head, I'm thinking I'm losing this and losing this.
진짜 마지막 희망으로
why am I always losing these
아무래도
fights?
영진이가 좀 유리하다 보니까 좀 방심을 했던 것 같아요.
I just thought, okay, let's try to switch it up and go into battle cruisers.
뭐 그런 느낌이.
But what was the reasoning behind going for the battle cruisers in that phase of the game?
마지막에 영진이가 이제 딱 들어올 때 이제 이겼구나 싶었어요.
왜 이렇게 고생을 하고?
It was the later moments.
모르겠네요.
When Rush started going for the fights and I thought I couldn't compete.
게임하는데 좀 초중반으로 좀 잘 풀렸거든요. 근데 갑자기 어느 순간
You always have these long series. What's the deal with that?
진짜 멘붕이
I don't know.
이거 내가 진짜 지겠네 싶어갖고.
I actually.
아무튼 막 엄청 막 속으로.
My mentality was shattered a lot.
이겨서 저는 진짜 이렇게 힘들게 이긴 건 처음인 것 같아요. 진짜 게임하면서.
콩두 스타즈 리그에서 우승하면서 그때
This is one of the hardest games in my entire career.
우승하지도 꽤
Wow,
오래
that's
했지
saying a
않습니까?
lot.
그래서 아까 제가 잠깐 착각을 한 나머지 한상봉 선수가 우승했었나? 이렇게 얘기를 했을
Seems like your
정도로
championships were a very long time ago.
못하고 있는데 불안불안한 모습을 보이면 안 되잖아요. 이번 시즌은 좀 확실히
It was unstable for a long time for you.
힘들더라도 이렇게 뒤집어 버릴 수 있는
I hope to see more great performance from you in future ASL days. Are you confident you can do that? Yes.
오히려 이제 이렇게 힘들게 하고 나면 그 다음에 게임이 잘 풀리는 게 있더라고요. 그래서 16강
I had to fight hard to not be eliminated. But after overcoming this crisis game, I definitely feel like I'm stronger than before.
이제
Any words to your fans?
이제 제가 또 개인 방송을 하는데 이제 저 같은 경우는 뭐 다른 뭐
So I'm going to be doing some personal streaming coming up here.
뭐 이렇게 막 엄청 많은 그런 이런
Other pro gamers after they win.
제 방은 사실
They do party streams.
우승했을 때도
Looking to choose
별잔치가 없었던 방이거든요. 하지만 예고한 사람이 몇 명 있어요. 저희 방 시청자 중에. 그래서
But that's not. I don't do what other pro gamers do.
네, 놓으세요.
See why he's was my favorite tier back in the day. You just sit there, just play StarCraft.
So don't expect that from my stream. No party stream for me. No on-stream drinking for me.
네, 와서 쏘세요.
네, 알겠습니다. 제가 쏘러 가겠습니다. 네, 축하드립니다. 박성규 선수.
감사합니다.
네, 시조의 마지막 승자인 박성규 선수까지 만나봤습니다. 이제 16강의 남은 자리는 반 남았습니다. 남은 자리를 위해서 우리 선수분들 파이팅 해주시길 바라겠습니다. 자, 그럼 오늘의 결과를 화면으로 확인해 보시죠.
3 more days of ASL. Hold on a second. I lied to you. First, we're going to show the match results. Effort in mind, of course, move on. But the games are great. The games are close. Well, not for Effort. Effort just completely raffle-stomped everybody. Yeah. Effort rolled these nerds up into fruit roll-ups and ate them.
He rolled these nerds up into magazines and shoved them into Ripley's mouth.
That's okay. Oh my God. Mind, man, he had some proving to do today, and he did it. Talk about an exhausting marathon TVT.
Yeah, that was a really good
one. As the French say.
Very, very fun game that was. Late game TVT is just a monster to play. It can be very, very tough.
I find it hard for me to commentate sometimes. I'm like, I don't know what's supposed to happen here. It's crazy.
Wild game there. So crazy it came down to that middle base being mined back and forth 3 times.
So here are the players that are already in the round of 16. Some of them auto-birthed in due to success in the previous ASL. But we have some players who earned their way here this season through, not the other players didn't earn it, but through going through the round of 24. Players like Sock and Mind, Stork, some other guys, Larva, can't forget about him. And here's what's remaining. Oh my God, no Sunday. broadcast. Oh, how the tables have turned. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
I actually did not know that until this graphic came
I did
up.
not know that, yeah. So. That's good that we found that out. So it's not going to be Sunday. It's going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
The day of weddings.
The day of Wendy's. So, the final day on Wednesday will start at 5 p.m. Can I get some confirmation on that?
5 p.m., yes.
Producer?
Confirmed.
Confirmed?
Confirmed.
Okay, because we want to make sure with that quick schedule change that happened literally while the show was going on, that we're still ready. So let's talk about today, man. It was a lot of fun, dude. I really enjoyed that TVT. I'm glad we had that at the end instead of in the middle.
There's a lot of good games today.
Yeah.
You know, really only the first game was kind of disappointing. Other than that, lots of fun.
We're going to see you guys next week. Oh.
GSL finals, by the way, are coming up.
The GSL finals are coming
on Saturday.
And you have to be there.
Yeah. I think it starts at 5 p.m. Watch
All right. We love you guys. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. We'll see you next time at the ASL and the GSL finals. Bye.
The challenge begins.